Radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
This afternoon, we've seen a whole lot of table banging.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Stop playing with it.
I got hairy legs.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
It's not just about sex.
I got worms.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the studio. How you doing today, Eddie?
I'm hanging in there, Joey. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Just fantastic. Now, is it a real thing, folks, that when it comes to men in particular, as they get older and say they lose weight, that they start to lose their caboose? Like the whole, it looks like you're a frog sort of thing?
Yeah, I think that's the
Thinks
case.
old Jeff Foxworthy joke about that.
I think that's the case. As my mother alluded to today, she said, you lost so much weight, son, you don't even have a butt anymore.
That's only a mother could say that, and it just come across as
I don't know,
wholesome.
she could have said it. We could have just kept going without even talking about that.
Turn the
but
camera more.
I just, yeah. So, just add that
that's a
to
great
the-
way to begin the day.
Yeah.
So there's plenty to get to, I suppose. Apparently, to be a good Christian conservative, we don't need any dolled-up pictures of ladies on physical calendars, even if they are conservative so-called influencers.
What do you mean? Like
There's this company called Ultra Right,
the beer company?
the beer company.
Yeah, I heard of them.
Yeah.
I have heard of them. Haven't had their beer.
I'm trying to, since Bud Light went down, Ultra
I
Right
think that's
is
where
going
they kind of kicked in that.
Yeah, you should try it.
I-
See if
I
it could
hadn't even
supplant
seen it.
Bush Light.
But I will look for it. I haven't even seen it around here. Now you mentioned.
But this was brilliant marketing campaign on their part,
Definitely.
because apparently it created all sorts of controversy on the Twitter
With this
or
one
the
here?
X platform.
With this new marketing.
This
campaign.
new calendar that's out. Have you not seen this
Is
thing?
it kind of like risque or something?
They claim, some people are claiming it's kind of softcore porn, that if you're
What?
so mad with people getting dolled up and doing OnlyFans, conservatives, why would you then make a calendar like this with all these people doing softcore stuff? But, folks, here's the deal. Yeah, I'm old enough, you stupid company. Dadgummit.
Well, how bad's the calendar? You got to be old enough to look at it there, Joe.
Yeah. All right. Now we have found the Ultra Right beer calendar. I'm going to present it here on the live stream. Well, and that cover of it,
No, that's a little bit risque.
well, it's like Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine, but guess who's in the swimsuit?
Who that?
That's, I believe, Riley Gaines.
Oh, she's a very attractive. young
Yeah.
woman. Very attractive.
Yeah, that's Riley
Very
Gaines.
conservative. Yeah. Well, that's a.
And then others included in this are like Dana Lausch. She's a great radio host, right?
Okay.
Ashley St. Clair. I don't know who that is. Some blonde with way too much lipstick on. Then
for
some other
yourself.
good-looking lady. No, they're all good-looking ladies. Kimberly Kasich, you remember her?
Yeah, but I mean, granted, okay, there's been two with a bikini, but
And it's called The Real Women of America. That's the name of the calendar. And so here are some of
seem that bad
the
to me.
photos you might be seeing. There's like Ashley St. Clair. See, that's a little sultry. That one there where the beer stacked up, she's in a bubble bath. But
That's-
she's
but
wearing
that's-
lingerie.
dude, that could be a cover of a magazine nowadays.
Right.
That's really nothing.
Riley Gaines. Yeah, that's a shame that the swimmer, the nationally renowned female swimmer, is wearing a swimsuit in this calendar. That can't be stood for at all.
Granted, okay, they're just attractive women, and I don't.
But
Are they
apparently,
mad because there's not a male calendar to come out with it? Maybe that's the issue. With the firemen holding the hose.
but this is the one, and again, folks, you can go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube.
Ooh, I see the problem with this one.
Like and subscribe on YouTube, Joey Clark Live, or on the X platform at the Joey Clark.
Like and
why
subscribe.
do you think there's a problem with this one? Because she calls herself the redheaded libertarian. I've seen her tweets for a while. Because of this photo, she's now trending. So there are thousands and thousands of people talking about this photo.
Now, me personally, I don't have a problem at all, period, with any of this. But I can see where people are going to have an issue.
Why do you think so with
Cross
this
on
one?
the wall right there.
The crucifix?
Yep.
Are we still fighting the Reformation?
Nope. Worlds colliding. Sexy in the church. Worlds colliding. Sexy in the church. Worlds colliding.
She's wearing an apron and heels, and she's baking a pie.
And all that's fine. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
And she's
I just
clearly
see
Catholic because it's not just a cross, it's a crucifix.
Right. I see where people are going to go, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah. I see, it doesn't
But at the
get
same
the same
time,
rise out of me. I'm like, whatever.
She has a cross in her kitchen. I don't see where that's... If you're looking to be bothered, then you can find things like this that will bother you.
Well, and then apparently Ashley St. Clair's was to mess with Dylan Mulvaney. So she recreated the photo shoot that Dylan Mulvaney did with Bud Light.
I don't know. It's still...
There's Dana Loesch. Oh, she's double wielding. Are those ARs?
Yeah.
That's a heck of an AR platform right there.
Yeah, she got a couple. But again, I don't see... Joey, what am I looking for here? Is there a slip of something?
I'm just wondering, maybe my thingamajig is broke. My ability to assess the world, because people keep saying this is softcore and untoward, and I'm like, this seems pretty mild to me.
Go by a junior high school or a high school day. Women or girls dress much more risque than that.
Go to Target.
I try to stay away from the Target.
Why do you stay away from Target?
They
Hold
just
on.
bother me. And I was there the other day, but they really bother me with their policies.
No, but I just, for the life of me, I don't understand. Comment or
good-looking women.
Call in if you've seen this thing.
What's the problem? Good-looking women that a guy or like me or you looks at and goes, "Hey, man, that's a pretty lady over there."
I think your wife is just laughing.
Ah, crap.
She just put up laugh emojis.
Ah, crap. Get some flowers on the way home.
And good for her, says Jacqueline Tomlinson.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Now, Greg Powell saying, I see you have finally found a good use for the live stream. Keep up the good work. Yeah, but apparently this is all the rage on conservative
I just don't
Twitter.
see an issue.
I don't see it either.
Again, I guess I could show anybody that wants to be triggered. I can show you a series of photos and you'll find something to be triggered about. But I'm just looking at...
Yeah, it's called Conservative Dads. Real underlined, and italicized. Conservative Dads, Real Women of America 2024 calendar featuring the most beautiful conservative women in America.
They look good to me.
Yeah, I mean...
What's wrong with the women we got?
Looks like fun to me.
Drink good to me.
Anyway, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not off base here, that I'm not crazy.
No, I don't. I mean, again,
Because
I don't see
honestly, you go on Instagram or other spaces in Twitter and you're like, put your breasts away.
That's what I'm saying.
And this is not, sometimes a little sexy, but it's not like
okay,
over the top.
Excuse me. What is wrong with being a little bit sexy? What's wrong with that?
Well, modesty is a virtue, Eddie.
I get it, but Joey, if I'm modest all the time and one day I feel like being a little sexy, is that okay?
Yeah, I think that should be allowed.
You could step out once in a while.
There are tasteful ways to go about it, I suppose.
I thought these photos were pretty tasteful.
But again, this is the level of discourse right now on right-wing X platform or in the right-wing influencer world. It almost seems almost like masturbatory at this point. I guess no pun intended. Now, there's another huge story we'll get to in detail when we have a longer segment here. That, college expenses have gone way up. And with the conversation about we should forgive student loans and all these things, people are wondering, and we've had this conversation. My dad had it with me before I went off to Auburn. He's like, Joe, I paid for my way through Auburn. I worked 40 hours a week at Lowe's. And after he started paying the tuition at Auburn, I got a small scholarship too. But they saved it, my parents did, over time. And after he started paying for the tuition we owed, he goes, oh, damn, you couldn't do that. Like work 40 hours. I could have worked 40 hours a week at Lowe's or wherever, but it wouldn't have been the amount of money you needed.
No.
Maybe you could work 40 hours a week at Lowe's to pay for just the meal plan.
Good point.
So there are folks who are like wondering, why is the cost of college going up? And of all the colleges and universities throughout this great nation, the Wall Street Journal did an 18-minute read. It's a big breakdown with like charts and stuff, like when you're looking at it on tablet. The Wall Street Journal decided to look at Auburn University.
War Eagle.
And why costs have gone up so much, and tuition's gone up so much, and student fees have gone up so much, as buildings have gone up so much at Auburn University.
Well, plus the product that they're putting out is probably a lot better than they were putting out in the past, right?
Right. But the long and short of it, actually, it's not all that construction necessarily, and it's not necessarily sports, because sports
they kind of pay for
themselves and
yeah.
pay for every other athletic program.
Right.
No, they actually say the biggest increase is not in faculty. It's not in all these other. It's administration. Administrators.
That works so well. Just look here in Montgomery.
Useless.
Public schools.
Just useless.
Yeah,
but
buddy.
here, let's go to James. Hey, James, how you doing?
Administrators. You know what to say, Joey. Those who can do, those who can't teach, and those who can't hold down a classroom, they become what, Joey Clark?
Radio hosts?
No, administrators.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
This is true.
So why not just pay those guys more money?
Right. So they can oversee all the students and faculty to make sure they're being good.
Of course.
Right.
I mean, they can't do anything else.
They're like the politicians of the teachers.
It sounds like you've experienced this firsthand, James.
Joey, I was in the classroom for 40 years.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
Okay? Let's do the math. From first grade to 12th grade, that's 12, right, Joey?
Right.
5 years at AUM when I changed my, I lost a year when I changed my curriculum. And then that would be 5 and 12 is 17, and 23 years as a teacher, that's 40.
Wow.
That's way more than any one human being should spend inside a classroom.
Agreed.
But you know what? You know, it is what it is. Let's go back. You know, we have reached, I'm not sure if this is a trough or a crest, but when I am an arbiter of Christian conservatism, it's one or the other, and I'm wrestling with it even as I speak. But here's what Paul would share with you. And that's Paul, the Apostle Paul, chief among sinners, the one that was struck blind on his way to Damascus, he would say, as well, and I'm leaving that part out, if it doesn't edify, then why bother? And understand I am paraphrasing here.
Sure.
So, even though it may be timid in comparison to what is out there elsewhere, if it doesn't edify, why bother? I mean, you follow me there, right, Joey?
I do, absolutely. I'm hearing you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is the point that some people are taking. I have not seen the calendar, and the carnal man in me probably wants to run down to the APPL where I have internet access and look and check this calendar out, but I think I'm going to spare myself.
Well, let's go with something everybody knows. With the, say, Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue of, say, 1995, did that edify?
Probably not, and I don't have a copy of it.
Right, but I see where you're coming from. That it's just hit that dopamine center and you know, feel something for a second. Look at how pretty she is in that swimsuit. How much does that really improve your life and make it valuable?
I try to stay away from that in the back of like Books A Million or Barnes and Noble, where they have the, gosh, I shouldn't say this out loud, you know, the Maxim magazines on the rack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it may be healthy for the libido, but then we're back to the standard.
Right, and it's also like, are you looking and appreciating, or are you sinning in your own mind, so to speak? Like just looking at a particular photo, I guess it depends on the guy, because I maintain, even if you like covered up down to your ankle, there's still guys going to be looking for a glimpse of that side ankle, you know?
Look at that cankle she got.
That is the point.
Right.
That is the point. See, the most powerful sex organ we have is between our ears.
Amen.
And if you can control that, you have accomplished something. I believe it's James in the New Testament who will tell you, controlling your mouth it's an issue. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we use to control that mouth with? Well, we're back to our brain. You follow me, right, Joey?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that's all I have for the day, brother. And
no, good call. Appreciate it, James. Ta-ta. 272-9228.
I used to read Maxim magazine too. I'm just a bad guy.
Larry saying, this is the script for the day across live streams. Where does the script come from? Roger Stone? He's on to us!
You get a script in the morning from Roger Stone?
Yeah, the man who has a tattoo of Richard Nixon on his backside, or on his back, I think.
You don't share with me? I mean, maybe I'd like.
You got to be initiated into the club.
No thanks. I seen what you had to do. No thanks.
No, it's just kind of that's how Twitter works, sir. Things trend. I don't mind the cross. Those pics prove there is a God, says Johnny. All right then.
I know everybody has a different aspect of it. I'm just the most terrible person in the world, but I see it as beauty, just like whether it's a flower or a sunset, a sunrise, or a cute puppy. I like to look and enjoy. I don't see. I'm sorry, I don't.
You just see the
beauty. I just don't.
So like that chick in like the bikini, you look at her the same way as say a redwood.
Not necessarily, but I can admire the beauty in both of them.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
That's
fair.
I don't know. God made me the way He made me.
It's a topsy-turvy world.
He didn't want me to look. He wouldn't have gave me eyes at work.
Yeah, but come on.
I don't look at everything.
Right, exactly. Control yourself a little bit.
I don't look at flowers and go, oh, that flower's too beautiful. I can't look at that one.
Larry goes on. He says, there are literally dozens of live streams talking about the same thing. Yeah, Larry, that's how it works.
Did you watch other live streams?
It doesn't have to come from a central source. It's, I guess...
Did you watch other live streams today?
No, I didn't.
Neither did
I read the Twitter.
That's right. Isn't that one big live stream, though?
Yeah. No, and honestly, I find this silly. But it is interesting. James's call being edifying himself. So I appreciate it. And we're going to move on after this. But I just saw this is what everybody's talking about. And I'm like,
You can't go look at those pictures again?
You can in your own time if you like. You can buy the calendar if you like.
Nah, I bought a calendar of dogs pooping.
Yeah, who uses do you use a calendar?
No, ironically enough, and I'm going to get in trouble for this. My wife gave me one yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Still sitting in the floorboard of the car where I put it.
Like we've got one in the studio to keep
Only
kind
person
of
that uses that is Jay.
And he's the only one who touches it. I'll glance at it occasionally.
I wish I was that organized, but
I've got a calendar on my phone.
I got my phone, right?
Yeah, and I set reminders and stuff.
Yep, set reminders and stuff, and then snooze, and yeah.
Well, and Romex Angler says, I'm more disappointed the calendar costs $25. I get free calendars all the time. If the calendar came with a case or two of beer that they're selling.
If it came with a case of beer, yeah, definitely.
Right.
Which I got to go find the beer.
Well, how about this? Let's hit a break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by, Romex really did have the comment of the day. He says, Joey, if your thingamajig is broken, call Montgomery Men's Health. And, well, that's our sponsor for this part of the program. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They can help you fellas out. If you're feeling run down, tired all the live long day, and also mentally just aimless, listless, you're just not there, just not all there. Do you feel sluggish, haunted by past memories of your younger self? Well, the problem could be low testosterone.
Could be.
Low T. And so here's what you can do. Just a quick blood draw. It's only $99, and you can know your testosterone numbers. You also get a PSA score, great marker for prostate health without the usual invasive procedure to figure that out. But they can help you if you do, in fact, have low T. Montgomery Men's Health has treatments that can truly change your life. Most men, after these treatments, experience higher energy, better gains at the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns. You may even notice an increased libido.
That's pretty good, Joey.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
So call up Montgomery Men's Health today. Make an appointment, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com and be sure to tell them, I heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228. Larry's asking now, are you aware of Deep Root Analytics and Cambridge Analytica? I'm familiar with Cambridge Analytical to a degree, Larry. No, I see what you're laying down now. That maybe there's somebody who's pushing the traffic in a certain way. No, it could be we're already being run by artificial general intelligence and we just don't know it. How would we know it?
We wouldn't.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
May I help you?
Well, howdy. I'm Bill the electrician. Come to wire up your new air compressors.
Oh, well, okay. Never seen an electrician pull up in a camo Jeep with deer antlers on the front.
Yeah, that 3 points of beauty, ain't it?
No matter what your electrician is driving, make sure it says Crosby Electric on the side. Crosby Electricians will take care of your electrical issues professionally and for a reasonable price.
Bill, you sure you know how to design these circuits?
Well, of course. And if I do get stuck, I got a secret weapon.
Oh, yeah?
YouTube.
Oh, boy.
Crosby Electric has been serving this area for over 50 years. We have the experience to do your job correctly.
Okay, let's try out these new air compressors.
Bill, you blew up my new compressors.
Yeah, sorry about that. Here, take my Jeep. It's yours.
What?
I'll just keep the horns, if that's okay.
Protect your property and yourself. Always call the experts at Crosby Electric or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
Marguerite's absolute clearance sale. We only got 3 days left. Hurry on up. 3 days left. Absolute clearance at Marguerite's. Clearing all the cases. Old diamonds. Everything. Oh, I can't even talk about it. It's unbelievable. Friday, Saturday, and it's third. I can't finish.
You okay? Do you need water? You good?
Okay, come out and see us. It's only till this Saturday. Absolute clearance at Marguerite's. Come on out, Pepper Tea Shop. Thank you.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-337-4548. That's 800-337-4548. 800-337-4548.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the studio with me.
All right, Joey. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. But I was genuinely surprised, Eddie, to see that the Wall Street Journal, in their breakdown on the rise in college costs, chose to put a spotlight on Auburn University, my alma mater.
Why do you think that was? I mean,
Well, should we just read the story?
I would love to hear more about it. I think I know the answer, but yes.
So the Wall Street Journal writes, in recent decades, Auburn University added hundreds of millions of dollars in spending to its budget. The additional money didn't go to the English department nor to the sociology department. That's actually a good thing. Some science departments got a trickle more. Instead, much of the money went towards administrative salaries, buildings, and, no surprise, sports. Auburn piled millions more each year into paying down the debt it borrowed for campus upgrades, including an $84 million basketball arena. Pretty damn good arena. I've been to a few games there. It hired hundreds of administrators and professional staff.
Got some Bruce Pearl.
Spending on the president's office and other administrative departments often increased far faster than on many academic subjects. See, I wouldn't blame the sports thing, because they claim that, there's been an increase in student fees for sports. Makes me think, could we break down those student fees? What exactly are the students paying for?
I think they're hiding behind that, yeah.
Right. I think this is more at the feet of the more administration.
There you go.
But to help pay for its transformation, Auburn University has raised tuition and fees again and again. But by one measure, students' costs have grown faster than at almost any other major public U.S. university. Wow. Auburn's net price, the average amount in-state freshmen pay after grants and scholarships covering tuition, fees, room and board, and other costs, topped $25,000 annually in 2021-22, according to the Education Department data. That's a 60% increase from 15 years prior, adjusted to today's dollars. Now, before I keep reading this, folks, I am an Auburn graduate, War Eagle, and I can tell you from when I graduated in 11, it does not look like the same campus. Like, the amount of change that happened after, I saw a little bit while I was there, like that they bring up this new student union. I remember sitting in that, studying all the time. And it was a big building with a lot of places to sit and study and windows to look out at the beautiful campus. But after that, it became like all these new dorms, all these other things that are jumping in there.
But it becoming more of a glitz and glamour and less about education? More about how fancy we can look?
That's the question. But nationally, schools don't consistently disclose the details of how they spend their money, making it nearly impossible to compare how they divide up dollars. To determine how one school's priorities evolve, the Wall Street Journal chose Auburn as a case study, examining hundreds of pages of budget documents. The data helped answer a question facing families across the nation. With college prices sharply higher than they were a generation ago, where does all that money go?
Good question.
The Journal tallied how Auburn's spending changed across roughly 125 of the largest budget categories between fiscal year 2002 and 2016, adjusting all numbers for inflation to today's dollars. Comparisons after 2016 weren't possible because of accounting changes and because Auburn stopped publishing granular spending figures.
Wonder why.
An Auburn spokeswoman declined to answer more than 24 questions about the changes to its budget and didn't respond to a Journal reporter who visited the campus. In a written statement, she said the Journal had a quote-unquote predetermined agenda. Well, she might be right about that.
Maybe.
She cited the demand for Auburn's education as well as the university's accolades from publications that produce college rankings and its success with student retention as evidence of the school's achievements. Financial decisions made by the Auburn University administration prioritize strategic investments that will enrich our students' academic pursuits, personnel development, and post-graduation career success, wrote Jennifer Wood Adams, the university's executive director of public affairs.
So I can't tell you specifically, but I can put a fancy spin on it.
Well, public affairs is actually a propaganda word for propaganda.
Yes.
So this she's doing her job.
Very
Jay
well.
Googe, who served as Auburn's president from 2007 to 2017, he was my president when I was there.
Huh?
You know, I was a rickshaw driver.
I heard.
And most of the time it was before football games.
I heard you were a
Folks,
pretty
in
good
like
rickshaw
3-4
driver, too.
hours, you can make $300 to $500. But LSU weekend was great. All those drunks, made so much money. But occasionally there'd be like special events.
Mm-hmm.
Like dinner at the president's mansion or house.
Oh,
and
sure.
so, you know, it's a long driveway. We'd go to one end of the driveway and, you know, rich guests would.
The driveway to this dude's house was so long.
Yes.
It was worth it for me to pay a rickshaw driver to take me from my car to the door.
Yes.
Oh, hell no. Somebody's getting way too much money.
These are the people that show up
Does
at a
he own the
president's gala,
university?
man.
Does he own it?
No, we had another one at the Fine Arts Museum, and there was a very long walkway from the parking lot. Yeah, people would pay me $20 to take them. That was the easiest gig. The actual games, you pedaled. You actually had to work going up hills and stuff. But those two gigs, it was real simple.
I see.
Not too shabby at all.
Don't
But
sound like
so,
it.
you know, I remember President Googe. But he was there from 2007 to 2017, then came back from 19 to 2022. He said the improvements are expensive, and the limited revenue streams a university can tap into for more money include increasing tuition.
I'm sorry, I still ain't got over the driveway yet. Sorry.
It costs money to deliver quality education, said Googe. You've got to have the facilities. You've got to have the faculty. It takes a lot of things.
These are the most biggest BS answers I've ever heard.
Let's go to Cooper before we keep reading this thing. Hey, Cooper.
Hey, at the risk of exposing my age, when I first started at Auburn, we were on the quarter system, and tuition was $50. When they raised it to $75, there was almost a revolt.
Wow.
I put 3 children through Auburn, and the last one graduated maybe 10 years ago or so. And at that time, tuition was about $5,000, if I remember right.
And that's not crazy.
That's right. That seems
No,
affordable.
I figured. I mean, when it was a cut after getting them out of the Montgomery private school system.
True.
So I think back then, like say 10 years ago, you could send a child to Auburn, pay their rent, their food, their fraternity, sorority, whatever, tuition, books, for about $17,000-18,000 a year.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yep, it sure was.
It just hurts hearing it.
It was better than the $180,000 that went into $180,000 that went into the Montgomery private school system. I won't name the school, but
yeah. Yeah, my Uncle Dave, who's an investment banker, used to peeve my Aunt Karen off something fierce. What he said, he was sending their kids to St. James. He's like, why are we spending all this money through elementary, junior high, high school? Why don't we just take the money we would give to St. James, put it in a account that could earn an interest over time, and
they'll be millionaires.
Yeah, and just hand them that as they go off into the world, and we can privately tutor them for a lot less in these schools. I think he had a point.
I think he does.
Well, and one other thing I've observed, I graduated from Auburn in '69.
Good year.
There has been construction going on ever since I graduated. Some building's been torn down and a new one put up, or it's constant construction.
Well, and as I was reading this thing this morning, I'm a little torn because they're like, oh, they spent all this money on this new basketball arena. I'm like, I was there when the old arena was around. At that point, it was pretty shabby. Like you're talking 08, 09.
They were pretty good.
It was a little worn out at that point.
It's good for contracts.
Yeah, because it was there back when I was there in the old days.
Right. Thus, they needed a new arena.
No, what's wrong with some paint? Couldn't paint it up. Paint goes a long way, you know. A lot cheaper than a building.
Hey, let me let you guys go. I'm enjoying the show.
Thank
Appreciate
you, Cooper.
272-9228.
I just don't understand I guess if you have that kind of money, yeah, why would we paint it? We could tear it down and build another one.
The story goes on. Auburn senior Nyla Blewett, she said she is using a merit scholarship, or a few merit scholarships, and federal loans to help pay for school and living expenses, including about $950 monthly for off-campus housing and utilities. $950 a month ain't bad.
Pretty dang good, to be quite honest. Especially if you ain't got roommates. That's pretty good.
Because I recently looked at the rental market here in Montgomery.
Yeah, how'd
and
you like that?
I was getting a good deal. Let's just say I'm still getting a great deal now. Like, you got to be creative in life, folks. But if I had just gone out to like rent an apartment here in Montgomery by myself, easily $1,200 is your baseline.
Yeah, let me
and
tell
it goes
you,
up from there.
2-bedroom, 1 bath, 900 square feet in Highland Gardens, $850 a month.
In Highland Gardens?
Highland Gardens.
2 bedrooms sharing a bath?
2 bedrooms, 1 bath. The going rate. It's close to the.
Yeah, so
school.
$950 in beautiful
That's
Auburn.
a really good deal.
It ain't bad. But she said, the senior there at Auburn, she will owe about $25,000 in loans after graduating. As president of the Black Student Union there at Auburn, the Alabama native said she had heard concerns from students about costs to attend Auburn and has relayed them to campus administration, but it hasn't helped. Yeah, no kidding. They're the ones getting paid. The tuition has kept increasing, said Blewett, a 21-year-old majoring in apparel design. You better have some connections in that industry already, young lady.
You better have a backup.
You know how infrequent I say young lady?
Yeah.
Like, She says, as much as I love Auburn, it has become more of an elitist university.
That was a cow college.
It still kind of is. Well, here, they talk about the building boom.
Okay.
Opened 164 years ago, Auburn was once geared towards the state's working class, as was typical of public institutions funded by the sale of donated federal lands called land-grant universities. More recently, the school, nestled in the hills of east central Alabama, had loftier ambitions. In 1997, its board set forth a mission statement. Auburn would become one of the nation's preeminent land-grant universities in the 21st century. The school set out to erect state-of-the-art facilities, bring in top professors, develop research programs, and add resources to support students. It now has nearly 27,000 undergraduates. It's become massive.
Pretty big school.
All that added to the school's bottom line. Auburn's budget in 2016 totaled $1.2 billion in today's dollars, a jump of 82% from 2002. Wow. Though enrollment grew during that time, it did so at a slower pace, rising by about 20% during the same period. So you got 20% more students, yet you have an 82% boom in your budget over, say, 15 years?
They can get it, man.
Now, Stephen Leith, former Auburn University president from 2017 to 2019, said competing to be the best university comes at a cost. In a lot of places, it's an arms race for new scientific equipment, for new athletic facilities, for upscale inviting dorms. It never seems to end, said the former president. One of the biggest reasons for the growing costs at Auburn, as at many such schools, was the school's expanding footprint. And then this has got an interesting graphic here where you can see, I'm looking on my iPad.
Bigger they grew?
They're actually using a satellite map and zooming you around at Auburn campus. Now, I know the campus really well.
How much bigger is it now than when you were there? Has it grown tremendously?
It's gone up. They removed the altitude ordinances and whatnot.
I noticed that.
So, for instance, the school built a new small animal teaching hospital. It cost about $74 million at the time, opened in 2014. I remember that place. It's a beautiful building. It's more, though, near Wire Road.
Is there good learning there, then?
Yeah, it's one of the top veterinary schools, I think, in the nation.
Obviously worth the investment.
Right. Yeah, some of the stuff I'm like, this
There's
makes
no problem.
sense.
Right.
Across campus, the school also opened 8 dormitories in 2009. The dorms, which contain suites, single bedrooms, and living and dining areas, cost about $118 million at the time. Now, these are the brand new ones kind of near the stadium there.
Just like wasn't that Rodney Dangerfield went to college?
No respect. That's one of the greatest movies.
Right.
Back to school.
I'm telling you, when you say 1-bedroom condos and suites, that's all I picture is Rodney Dangerfield in one of those suites.
The school, no respect. The school opened a new $84 million basketball arena in 2010. It seats more than 9,000 fans. It also houses offices and a museum.
Feel like that's pretty good investment?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a beautiful facility. Auburn also in 2008 erected 180,000 plus square foot student center. I remember this one well. Spent many a lunch eating Chick-fil-A and reading my latest feminist crap I had to slog through. If I had to read one more thing by Bell Hooks, by the way, she never capitalized her name. It was always lowercase b, lowercase h. Bell Hooks. Wasn't even a real name.
Shocker.
Anyway, the student union cost $40 million according to bond documents. the university recently added a game room and relocated and expanded the Starbucks.
Okay, here we go.
It is a little bougie, just a little bit.
Some good learning going on there, Joey?
So $20 million building. It's a home to information technology staff. Another $20 million building for kinesiology, or you say it.
God, don't even look at me.
Something about kinesthetics. Anyway, with labs focused on physical activity and human movement, a $16 million indoor sports facility project that allows student athletes to practice during bad weather. In 2013, Auburn opened a recreation and wellness center. In 2009, students voted to increase fees to finance the center's operations.
Oh, the students voted to increase the fees.
Yeah. Wait, I thought those elections were all really fake, stupid stuff I didn't have to pay attention to. Goodness gracious. Again, folks, this is the Wall Street Journal that came out today. It's a report on the rising cost of colleges and universities. They decided, because the documents were available, to put a huge spotlight on Auburn University. Huge spotlight. Now, the Journal wasn't able to determine whether the report figures for utilities and other upkeep, including operating sports buildings and dorms, which are often budgeted separately. The school declined to clarify. The university continues to grow. This month, construction sites on the campus advertised 2 coming buildings on large banners. One for the College of Education. No, just abolish that one right now. Another for a STEM and agricultural sciences complex. Not far away, the university used campus dining funds to relocate a Starbucks this year.
Okay, right there. So we are paying, not we, but so yeah, we are, taxpayers' money. We are paying to take a business that makes money and relocate it. They're not eating none of that cost. We're doing that.
But apparently one of the biggest reasons colleges like Auburn are spending money, according to the Wall Street Journal, is they've hired a lot more people. In 2016, Auburn allocated $574 million for salaries, wages, and benefits, roughly half its total budget. That's about 1.6 times what it spent in 2002. Auburn invests in our students by investing in our faculty and staff, said an Auburn spokeswoman.
Not just Auburn, but I think in all colleges across the U.S. have gotten too top-heavy. People are losing interest. They realize there's not the value that used to be with a college education, and those things are going to start closing up.
Well, and here's a key sentence or two, then we'll have to hit a break. Some of that money has gone to hiring and retaining professors in popular fields. For example, the personnel budget for Auburn's mechanical engineering program, one of the best in the nation again. It's one of the most sought degrees there at Auburn University. It grew by nearly half to $5.9 million. But Auburn has disproportionately hired administrators and staff. Between 2002 and 2016, Auburn added nearly 600 full-time employees, numbers published by the college show. The number of faculty grew by 10%, while the number of administrators grew by 73%.
Guarantee you.
Holy crap.
At least a third or more of those administrators are related to someone that already works at Auburn.
Well, I know some of them who work there.
Guarantee
like,
it.
there's so much to this. I
guarantee it. You got a job for my wife? What about my brother-in-law? You got a job for him? Guarantee it.
But wait, you saying if you weren't high on the hog, you wouldn't be showing a little nepotism?
No, I know my brother-in-law. I wouldn't hire none of them. I wouldn't hire them to mow the damn grass.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by JB Windows and Siding. Call Jones Brothers. You'll be glad you did.
JB Windows and Siding has what you're looking for. Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Get ready for a change of reality as colder air takes over. Today, abundant sunshine, but cold. High temperature only in the low 50s. A stiff north and northwesterly breeze will make it seem colder. Clear skies, sub-freezing tonight, low 29. Friday, more sun, but we may fall short of 50 degrees for the high. Freezing temperatures or below again Friday and Saturday night. Saturday's high barely up to about 51 with more sun, and we'll be in the upper 50s on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Marguerite's absolute clearance sale. We only got 3 days left. Hurry on up. 3 days left. Absolute clearance of Marguerite's, clearing all the cases. Old diamonds, everything. Oh, I can't even talk about it. It's unbelievable. Friday, Saturday, and it's Thursday. I can't finish.
You okay? Do you need water? You good?
Okay, come out and see us. It's only till this Saturday. Absolute clearance of Marguerite's. Come on out, Pepper Tea Shop. Thank you.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house. Appreciate all the love and activity on the live stream. Again, Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And, of course, you can always call the show at 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. But before we keep going here and go to T-Spear on the line, this part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. Now, I got to tell you something, folks.
Tell me.
Dillon Rings, they ain't open today.
Nope. Taking a little time off for Christmas, right?
Yeah, they're not open this week. They'll be back January the 3rd.
January 3rd, all right.
But when it comes to Dillon Rings, folks, they are a full-service jewelry shop. That means, yes, they can offer you incredible selection from very high-end jewelry, even heirloom antique stuff, to that everyday jewelry that isn't going to break the bank, and thus it's not the end of the world if you went to the beach, lose it in the ocean or something. But it still looks great as that everyday wear. They have watches for women and
really
men.
Nice watches.
All sorts of great selection there. But being a full-service shop, they can also do cleanings or spa treatments, as they call it.
Right.
They can also do repairs, including watch repairs.
Right.
They can even do pearl stringing.
They can string some pearls.
I've never seen that. I'd like to see.
I'd like to see this.
You know, and the asset there, I think the thing that you want to praise them from the rooftops most is Josh Ryder's custom design.
Oh, no doubt, Joey.
Incredible stuff. The man is a true artist. In fact, you go back to his lab, he's kind of a mad scientist.
Mad scientist back there.
Along with being an artist. And they do fantastic work across the board. So you can check them out today by going to DillonRings.com. That's DillonRings.com. Or give them a call at 215-3669. Or just stop by 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. Again, they're closed until the 3rd of next year, but kick off the new year with a trip to Dillon Rings there. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. Let's go to T-Spear.
Hey, T-Spear.
Hi there. Happy and almost Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Well,
y'all are really discussing a subject near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
You said somewhat sarcastically, you noted. So that you know, I retired a little over a year ago.
Right.
Auburn University.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reasons that I was somewhat encouraged to retire is because I know where a whole lot of the bodies are buried.
Oh, boy.
You need to look at salaries for the diversity group that was brought on at the university. I'd say about, they were brought in about the time that I moved to the Kasich building, and that would be 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, the head of the diversity group salary was more than the president's salary.
Holy cow. Holy cow.
Yeah, and this isn't just Auburn. That's a nationwide trend. And just to remind folks, T-Spear didn't hear the last segment, the number of faculty at Auburn University from 2002 to 2016, the number of faculty grew by 10%. With a bigger student body, you expect that. While the number of administrators grew by 73%. Though average salaries for professors climbed in the mid-2000s, over the next decade, they roughly kept pace with inflation. But in Auburn's academic colleges, spending on the administration, usually the dean of a college and his or her staff, often rose faster than spending on individual academic departments.
Correct. Those administration individuals that are in the department, not in the dean's office, but in the department doing the actual real work, making sure that things get done, those individuals were lucky to get a 3.5% to 4.5% raise. Those individuals kissing dean's posteriors were getting 10 to 15% raises.
Wow.
The level of, they may have a, quote, harassment policy, but their human resources department, as long as they know that that individual has to have that job and needs to continue in order to do what I did, quote, to retire, we will deal with almost anything to finally get out of it. So therefore, any harassment claims are simply ignored. I retired a year and a half earlier than what I wanted to because the level of harassment by the individual in my department was so bad that I could no longer take it.
It's ridiculous.
And human resources allowed it.
Oh, yeah.
You may have a harassment policy that says you can't do that, but they simply ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
They knew it was going on. They heard the telephone call. They saw the emails. The level of when he came home from Okinawa to go into school at Auburn, he could go to school in Texas all 4 years as a computer engineer for less expensively than he could go to school 1 year at Auburn for a computer engineer. Same curriculum.
Wow.
You know, he got out of school, makes well over in the six figures along with his wife. We never regretted not going to Auburn. There are some curricula that are so specified good because of some of the professors that are there. I look at mechanical, chemical engineering, some of the aerospace engineering.
Industrial design, architecture, a lot of the engineering hard sciences are great there. Yeah.
And as well as the College of Veterinary Medicine.
Right.
A lot of those individuals are the top in their field. Don't get me wrong, they are. But there is so much at the bottom of their field still at Auburn that gets paid an inordinate amount of money because they're either bullied into it, into giving them that kind of money to keep their mouths shut, or they've sucked up to somebody. Auburn needs to do a clean sweep of a whole lot of departments. And you can stop at the A and go down.
Well, and I got to run, T-Spear, but great call. Thank you.
Thank you.
If we're paying the DEI specialist more than the president, what do you really think we're paying him for?
No, I don't know if that's Googe. The last he was paid about $846,000, which university president, I'm not shocked. But I'm from my last time I looked at any of these DEI schedules. You're talking about $500,000, $600,000.
What are you really paying for, though? What are
It's
you
a
really
good
paying
question.
for?
No, it's a very good question.
I mean, let's be honest. What are you really paying
what's
for?
the word? The term for a fifth column within your own institution? Yeah, that's what's happening.
Well, you basically, if it were back in the 20s, you had a mobster in there. Is what you got. You're paying somebody to keep what you would consider the bad people away.
Now, we got to hit this break, but it's always fun listening to folks who treat us like aliens.
Oh, really?
This last section of the Wall Street Journal is right up in Auburn. It's not just Auburn. They're just using Auburn as an example, though it is grown the most in terms of cost.
Going to get some spotlight on this.
But Tiger Pride. Nationally, Auburn is known for its widely followed Tigers football program.
Yeah.
The team most recently won a national championship in 2010, though its 6-6 record this year is middling. Thanks, Wall Street Journal! Football games are played at Jordan-Hare Stadium, an imposing structure mid-campus with a road stamped with orange paw prints leading to it. Not far away is a lavish $92 million football performance center that formally opened this year, mostly financed by bonds to be paid with athletic department funds, according to board document. Yeah, athletic department funds.
So it's going to get paid for by?
How much do you think a licensing deal is? I don't know off the top of my head. These like CBS or whoever's got the license for SEC football.
Your uniforms, the cleats, everything.
The payout. No wonder Texas and Oklahoma are joining the SEC. Right. Yeah. And it ends with the president saying, you don't get much pushback at all on expenditures in athletics here.
No, you don't. Because honestly, in Auburn and Alabama, the state is really known for football, folks. That's what we're known for.
Yeah, but that ain't where a lot of the bloat is.
No, not by no means. That kind of pays for itself, does it not?
For the most part.
I'm still, the DEI thing, what are we paying for?
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Mexican immigration officials are moving to clear a migrant encampment on the banks of the Rio Grande River, as U.S. officials met with Mexico's president to press for measures to limit a surge of migrants reaching the U.S. southwestern border. Meanwhile, a caravan of at least 7,500 migrants continues to march through Mexico toward the U.S. southwestern border. People from 24 different countries are believed to be part of this massive group. Stocks are higher in mid-afternoon trading on Wall Street in muted trading as 2023 nears its finish. The Dow is ahead 74 points now. The Nasdaq up 21, the S&P adding 7. This is SRN News.
In Dinesh D'Souza's new blockbuster movie, Police State exposes the government's plot to control MAGA conservatives.
These are anti-government.
We have freedom of religion and freedom of speech.
Violent extremists, and they must be dealt with.
MAGA Republicans threaten the very foundation of our republic.
Mass surveillance, censorship, and armed attacks. There's nowhere to hide.
FBI, we have an arrest warrant.
15 marked units on my property.
Military-styled soldiers pointing an automatic rifle at my head.
Are we becoming a police state?
It may be the Russia other people grew up in, but not my America.
Directed by Dinesh D'Souza, Debbie D'Souza, and Bruce Shuley. Police State sounds the alarm.
What we need is a person, and then we go find out what crime you did. How did we give the state this kind of power?
Police State. They have their lists. Are you next?
If they're coming for me, they're coming for you.
Police State. Buy it or stream it now at salemnow.com. salemnow.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Get ready for a change of reality as colder air takes over. Today, abundant sunshine, but cold. High temperature only in the low 50s. A stiff north and northwesterly breeze will make it seem colder. Clear skies, sub-freezing tonight, low 29. Friday, more sun, but we may fall short of 50 degrees for the high. freezing temperatures or below again Friday and Saturday night. Saturday's high barely up to about 51 with more sun, and we'll be in the upper 50s on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A 17-year-old boy has died after being shot in Montgomery. Police were called to the 2100 block of Rexford Road at 4:30 Wednesday afternoon, where they found the teenager with a life-threatening gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. A homicide investigation is underway. 12 more cannabis companies are contesting license denials by the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission. The commission awarded 20 licenses in various categories at their latest meeting on December 1st. 14 companies had previously requested investigative hearings regarding their resulting license denials. The national Petco pet store chain is closing its store on Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery as of January 21st. Petco made the decision after evaluating its real estate portfolio. The shopping center has also lost Best Buy and Books A Million in recent years. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with the updated market report. Over the past 11 and a half months, over 4,100 homes have sold and closed in our MLS system with an average price of $245,000. Houses are selling at listed price throughout the river region, and over 35% are selling in the first 30 days on the market. Rising interest rates tend to keep some people from buying, but it didn't stop over 4,100 families from buying this year. There's a cost to waiting and expecting rates to fall, and that cost is appreciation, which has been rising nearly every month for the last 2 years. So the house that you delay buying this year could cost you $35,000 more next year, even if the rate falls. One alternative is to buy now, refinance when rates improve, and that way you are not paying more for the house that you really wanted. For the facts, call Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Buy Eddie some mittens.
Go ahead.
Not for the winter months coming up, of course.
But of course.
Welcome back to the program. Before we get into things, as part of News and Views, of course, brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And at Cole Plumbing, they do fantastic work.
Yes, they do, Joey.
They can help you out with all those everyday plumbing problems, things like a clogged drain, low water pressure. Maybe you're not getting the hot water you think you should out of that heater of yours.
That's true.
They can help you with all that.
Or maybe you're getting that slow drain where you're draining the tub, but it's backing up in the shower of another bathroom.
Ooh,
not good.
That's not good at all.
Nope.
Or maybe you've been sitting on the property for a while. The plumbing's never had an issue, but you're noticing weird things. Like, it's not just a clogged drain with hair or whatever. It could be a tree root invasion.
Could be.
Look around your property if those
Very
trees
well
are right
be.
around your house growing up. Yeah, that could be a major issue.
Happens.
But of course, Cole Plumbing can help you there. And of course, they can help you in an emergency jam, whether it's a burst pipe inside or outside your home. They have proprietary pipelining technology to fix that problem for you without making a big mess. They're not going to have to dig up a huge hole in your yard or tear out a bunch of drywall in the process. So you can make an appointment by going online to coleplumbing.com or call them at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Now, it's the new year coming up, right?
Yeah, this next week, right?
Yeah. Do you have any resolutions for this upcoming year?
I have a few.
Any you would like to share?
Well, one of the biggest things I'm going to do is just kind of slow down a little bit.
What do you mean slow down?
Well, here the last couple of years, I lived my life at about 150 miles an hour.
Oh, I can attest to that. Yeah.
And it's fun. However, I've got grandkids now. I've got a wife that I want to keep around a little while longer. So I think it's best if I slow things down a little bit and kind of get back to the roots of family.
Well, and so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's wholesome. You're like, I want to.
I think it's healthy. Let's be honest. It's a healthier way to live.
Right. I agree with you. I think that would be a healthier way to live, to take time, to smell the roses, so to speak. But spend time with the grandkids. Or, other people are talking about what? We need to stop eating so much. I want to start doing weight training some more.
Right. Dieting, exercise,
I want to start
that kind of thing.
Writing a journal in the evenings to, collect my thoughts. Or I want to read this series of great books I've never visited. Or maybe even watch all these movies I hadn't seen. Like, you can put a project in front of you.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that during the new year. But what about Lindsey Graham? Lindsey Graham of South Carolina.
What's he thinking about?
It's not just about sex.
What has Lindsey got on his mind these days as we head into the new year? Let's listen in.
I've been saying for 6 months now, hit Iran. They have oil fields out in the open. They have the Revolutionary Guard headquarters you can see from space. Blow it off the map.
When I hear him say things like that, it reminds me of when I hear, folks in Iran and Soviet Union and other places come up with these just crazy things about the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And we just laugh at them because they're just crazy extremists. So when I hear him say that, same thing. He's an extremist. I guess I'm supposed to love him because he's our extremist, but I really just don't like the guy at all.
For 6 months now, hit Iran. They have oil fields out in the open. They have the Revolutionary Guard headquarters you can see from space. Blow it off the map.
What if we tie his butt to one of those missiles and hit it?
No, he'd probably just say,
stop playing with it.
272-9228. But that's what Lindsey Graham's thinking about these days. But there's another clip making the rounds. And Nikki Haley said it was from a damn dirty plant.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh, Joey, is she catching a little heat?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Because she got caught up in a really tough question.
Oh?
Yep. Should I ask you that question or should I ask Red Top that question?
Let's hear it.
Red Top, okay, how you doing today?
Good, man.
So I want to ask you the gotcha question that was thrown Nikki Haley's way by some plant.
Oh, yeah, when you said plant, I'm thinking, what plant? Talk
No,
to her.
not-
She must have been smoking a whole
Not
lot
Flora.
of that plant.
Yeah, not the ganja by any means. No.
Well, you know what? A lot of people down south don't agree with me, but yes, it was all about slavery. Too bad.
You already know the question. Yeah, so what's the question if that's the answer? She was asked, what was the cause of the Civil War?
Yeah. I mean, anybody, but, Southerners ain't going to admit it, but all of Western Europe had already dumped slavery. Americans, those people who were tired of oppression came to America and got a bunch of slaves, okay? And so, yes, it was about slavery. It was wrong. The South was wrong. They're complete dumbasses.
Whoa.
And they were not going to win. Karma was not on their side. People who have slaves, God does not bless. So, I'm sorry. I'm Catholic. Don't happen.
Man, Nikki Haley would have been done better with that answer.
Yeah, she would have been much better with that answer.
Yeah, we'll get to hers in a second.
Yeah, and I heard her answer. It was too diplomatic and
exactly.
dressed up. She put lipstick on a damn pig.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a lot of folks, the Confederacy and all this stuff, they're a bunch of dumbasses. All the Confederacy is a bunch of dumbasses. And
All right,
yes,
okay.
It had a little bit to do with government control and all that. But they were bad. They had bad concepts and precepts behind all of it. It was not going to work because it's morally wrong. Now, there's a lot of moral wrongs in the world, but it didn't need to happen in this country. And we're suffering still the results of it, how much black people do not trust the South. You know what I mean? So and we're still suffering the consequences, and paybacks are hell, aren't they, boys?
I guess, by the way, on a quick point on that, besides all the political language you hear, I suspect a lot of that is going by the wayside as folks get older. And I don't know, you look at some of the booming cities in the South, there are massive black populations, and, you know,
but
that's
they
a good
don't
thing.
vote. They vote Democrat.
Well, yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yep, that's a result of reformation. And nobody, which as soon as they got passed, Abraham Lincoln got shot, they reversed everything. So it took 100 years to get the black people what they were supposed to have gotten in 1865. So they got screwed twice, and they don't appreciate it, and I can't blame them. May I make one quick point, though? The Germans are taking over business in Alabama. Did you hear they're building a big-ass plant in Opelika?
What are they building down there?
Appliance.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, appliance company.
And Aldi, a German grocery store corporation, has bought Winn-Dixie. So, like the one on Carter Hill may say Winn-Dixie, but it's Aldi. And I went to the Aldi grocery store in Wetumpka. I didn't like it. You ever been to an Aldi?
Yeah, a lot of people like it. Some people don't.
It's not impressive. It's just a regular. It's
Just a regular
I
grocery
don't like
store.
Yeah.
So, you know, I ain't impressed, but I know the Germans are moving in. And so...
If they set up a beer garden at one of those Aldis, I'll show up to that.
Yeah, but you know, the Southern Baptists ain't going to allow that crap at all.
I'm
and
not
Joe
a Baptist. Do I look like a Baptist?
No, but you and me, Joey, you and I are very much a minority in this world.
Well, I don't behave that way. I think everybody loves me.
Oh, I sure don't act like no damn Baptist. I guarantee you that, buddy. I'm a good Catholic boy. I love women and proud of it. And Joe Biden last Friday did make one great statement. Now, he says, pardon to all the people who got possession on federal lands, got convicted for growing pot. See, a lot of pot's grown on federal land because, you know,
well, you can't lose it.
Control the hell and back. So he pardoned all the people, and there's really not any people in federal prison for possession of marijuana, they said.
Right.
But it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
So I was glad. I don't give a damn who he is. I'm glad to hear somebody say it because I've been waiting for this now 56 years. It's been a probation, and they got another lawsuit against the Alabama Cannabis Commission. They're a bunch of dumbasses.
Yeah.
Alabama can't run a pot commission. They can't.
Is that the
run
word of the day now?
education
Yeah,
or prison.
I hear it, Tom. I appreciate the call, man.
Right, wrong time. Go Trump.
272-9228. Now, here's what we mentioned, folks. This is Nikki Haley being asked the really tough question. What was the cause of the Civil War?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Please, what was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Now, did you hear that question, folks? Please, what was the cause of the United States Civil War? Eddie, did you hear the actual question? Or were you answering the phone?
I was answering the phone.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Please, what was the cause of the United States Civil War?
Was she going to sit back down?
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was?
There you go.
Oh, no.
Well, you don't know the answer. Ask the person who asked you.
Well, it was really about the role of government and the freedoms. I guess in a very broad sense. What was the cause of the Civil War? Adam and Eve, human nature, the fall of man, all that good stuff. Original sin.
It was the War of Northern Aggression.
The Second War of Secession.
Civil War. That was the War of the Northern Aggression.
You know, and all these folks are talking about another Civil War is coming, and I'm like, well, we still haven't agreed on the last one. So maybe you got a point. Or me and Red Top single-handedly can bring back the denominational wars, you know, like maybe we can pull that off.
Yeah, y'all bashing Baptists now? What did Baptists ever do to you?
Nothing. I mean, they sent some nasty letters to my priest uncle.
No, I'm sorry to hear
Yeah, who cares? What are you going to do? Forgive them? It's go to Papa John. Hey, Papa John.
Hey, Joey, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
We're doing great. Look, there's something that a lot of people really don't realize. And if they go back in history, they can find it. I can give you a kind of a thumbnail, but I can't give the exact dates. I know it started at a census, whether it was 1820 or 1830 or whatever else. There was a move after that census because the black population, the slaves, were not counted as people in the South. The South saw an opportunity, and they said, okay, because they are here, they're occupying space, and they are contributing to the economy, they need to be counted as persons. Well, the congressional body in the North said, no way, it's not going to happen. They were not saying we were going to eliminate slavery. What they said was, we're not going to count them as people. And that led up to the compromise where they gave them credit for 3/5 per person per slave that was an adult.
Yeah, it was at the Constitutional Convention.
Right. And eventually that led to, and then finally the ones in the North said, hey, guess what? This is giving them way too much access to some power. So what we need to do is we need to eliminate slavery completely. And that's how it started. And that's when states' rights came in. And, of course, the ones in the South were saying, you know, you've not got no control over this. This is something that we've got in our states, and it's legal, and you're not going to change that. And that's how the fight started. And what really is interesting to note is the Congressional North, they were not interested in slavery until it started eating into their power. And then they said, hey, we can't do this. If we're going to start giving up power, I don't care how bad it is, we got to get rid of it. So that's how the whole thing started. Nikki Haley, I really feel sorry for her. It sounds like she didn't have Miss Ward, my 8th grade teacher in history, who emphasized a lot of this about the Civil War. That's where I learned it in the 8th grade, and it's one of those things a lot of people don't even give the background out on or dwell on, and it's really one of those lost facts of history or ignored facts of history, which if you put it in there, it really paints a whole different color picture than what you see from the normal history books.
Well, there's so much to it.
Having a good program.
Well, I appreciate that.
There is. Y'all are having a great program. Just keep it up. By the way, Joey, your cue to me about 4 years ago, about you can't get cut until you get your diet right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my wife and I are a perfect example. We started in 2019, December 2019. I weighed 238. She weighed 168. Right now, she weighs 124, and I weigh 186.
Daggone, man.
And most of us died. Yeah, most of us died. So keep it up. Spread the word.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Papa John.
See you, Papa John.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
See, he took my advice. I haven't taken my own advice.
It's easy to give advice. It's hard to take it.
I'm a thick boy. At least around the middle. You know the damn boy.
That's
that
all I can
meme
think about.
Always cracks me up. The big old fat Labrador or whatever that dog is. Damn boy, that's a thick boy.
That's a thick boy right there.
But, let's let Nikki Haley finish here.
Okay.
Well, don't come with an easy question or anything. I mean, I think the cause of the Civil War was basically how government was going to run, the freedoms and what people could and couldn't do. What do you think the cause of the Civil War was?
Never good.
Love. Too much love.
I'm sorry?
Guy saying, I'm not running for president. I want to hear your view.
Right.
I mean, I think it always comes down to the role of government and what the rights of the people are. And I will always stand by the fact that I think government was intended to secure the rights and freedoms of the people. It was never meant to be all things to all people. Government doesn't need to tell you how to live your life. They don't need to tell you what you can and can't do. They don't need to be a part of your life. They need to make sure that you have freedom. We need to have capitalism. We need to have economic freedom. We need to make sure that we do all things so that individuals have the liberties so that they can have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to do.
Why is it that I'm hearing this from Nikki Haley and I don't believe her?
You and me both. Well, several of the things that she says we have a right to do, she's already wants to do away with.
Yeah.
So,
Or be anything they want to be without government getting in the way.
see, that's what right there. That statement right there is so wrong of how she truly believes.
Yeah. Well, except when national security comes up.
Thank you.
That's the great get out of jail free card when it comes to, we got to get around the Bill of Rights.
Right.
National security.
And it's not just her. It's politicians in general. And I love the fact when they get kind of caught like this, kind of a flat spot, don't know what to say, didn't have this prepared. Oh crap! I got to think on my own 2 feet. This is why I like debates. This is why I like things like this, because when these leaderships get in somewhere in a big meeting with another world leader, I want to.
How are they going to
react? I don't
yeah.
want them to say, "Well, I thought you were going to give me a hard question there." No, that's not what I want to hear. It's a little too campy. I want somebody that's a little bit. I'll say I like somebody like Trump. You going to ask Trump a tough question like that? Look out, you're fixing to get a tough answer you probably didn't want to hear.
Though I do love the idea that because slavery was, I think, the main wedge that caused that divide, which led to the Civil War, I think it was the underlying factor, along with many other factors, economic and just power lust in general. I tend to look at, and it's a healthy, I think, exercise, whether you're looking at modern governments or historically speaking, that you don't get wrapped up in what the people. Like this idea that governments represent the people even if they vote. Give me a break. No, the governments are usually represented by a ruling elite, a ruling class. You'll always have a ruling elite. You're always going to have folks with more money who are maybe even smarter than you, or they've just gotten the right position. Maybe they were born on third base. Good for them. But I'd like to look at that war, and most wars and most conflicts within a society or between different societies is not like the millions of people, sadly, the hundreds of thousands who fought and died. I think it's awful what happened. It's about the elites pushing their advantage. So when the elite of, say, a state like South Carolina or this state says, hey, we want our freedom, you mean, oh no, you mean freedom for you.
Yes. 100%.
And your feudal system you've continued to bolster up that continues to pay you. And there are all sorts of intricacies. I need to brush up. I'm not a Civil War buff by any means, but I do love the whole cotton embargo. Like, hey, Great Britain, you sided with. We're not gonna sell you any cotton. And the British are like, well, we've got Egypt and India. We're fine. Goodness gracious. Nikki Haley is not impressive by any means. I don't understand the appeal for her.
Female Jeb Bush. Just don't have Trump there to remind everybody.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro Services. Ashley, fantastic entrepreneur, but Ashley and her team are ready to help you with any of your potential pest control problems. It could be you notice a big problem. Maybe you notice the termites have already gotten to you. Well, get that termite treatment done so the damage doesn't keep extending. Maybe you don't notice any big problem. Get that termite treatment done so you don't ever have that big problem and those extra costs.
In fact, go ahead and schedule it now. You can get the Zach special if you schedule it before the end of the year.
What's the
$300 off a termite treatment.
Wow.
And that's a really good price. Because let me go ahead and tell you, termite treatment for one, if you've got termites, you got a choice. You can let them continue to eat away at your house, or you're going to have to treat it. You're going to have to treat it. This is probably the best price you're going to get all year on this. Take advantage of it today. Because in Alabama, it doesn't matter. You don't think you have termites. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you have termites.
And once you get that termite treatment done, you're probably going to say, you know what, I should just make them my everyday company.
Definitely.
Get on a quarterly schedule there with Pest Pro Services. It's Zach and so much of that great staff there ready to help you. 265-9990. That's our number there at Pest Pro Services. 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell them, well, Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. Got to hit this break.
All right.
More news and views after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson and the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought this problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99, and that includes all testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
The fall sale is on, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your floors. During Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, find deep discounts on Mohawk flooring for every room in your home, plus interest-free financing with approved credit. Get new floors before the holidays with huge discounts. Visit PrattvilleCarpet.com or call 285-8117 today.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Marguerite's absolute clearance sale. We only got 3 days left. Hurry on up. 3 days left. Absolute clearance at Marguerite's, clearing all the cases. Old diamonds, everything. I can't even talk about it. It's unbelievable. Friday, Saturday, and it's third. I can't finish.
You okay? Do you need water? You good?
Okay, come out and see us. It's only till this Saturday. Absolute clearance at Marguerite's. Come on out, Pepper Tea Shop. Thank you.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
How you doing, Joey?
Doing all right. And Randall on the phone.
Randall.
How you doing, Randall?
Oh, fellas, man. Oh, man. Merry Christmas and pre-Happy New Year,
That's
man.
right.
Happy New Year.
We're in that weird spot between Christmas and New Year's now.
No, we're in the middle of the 12 days of Christmas.
What day are we now?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was
in the middle of it.
Because you really only supposed to put your tree up on the 24th, and it's like in February before it comes down.
Really? I think we're on the fourth day of Christmas. Yeah.
So, like, that's originally how it was. So we have spawned way away from that.
Yeah, we have.
Man, hey, I mean, not just on a call, but did you notice, like, since I guess some people go so big and got not near many people put up lights no more. Like, I guess everybody just goes look at the lights and say, hey, you know what I mean? Why? Like, you go through neighborhoods and it used to be every yard had a light or two.
Now you leave it to the professionals, Randall.
Yeah,
you just leave it to the professionals.
1 yard that is killing it. That's not gonna probably have to tell the rest of the block that, hey, I can't run no power to it, you know what I mean, at night.
That's right.
Like, it got their own radio station. Hey, you know, out here, turn it to this radio station.
So true. You turn it to a certain station, and you can pick up the music that goes along with the lights. It's crazy.
Yeah, like, man, it's crazy. Like, how it's been got. So I don't know what happened, but I don't know if that's the good way or if the other way, where everybody, you know, put up lights and had a few lights here and there. But yeah, the professionals have stopped the little guy.
Well, if you got a guy next to you that's putting on this huge display, Randall, and you got 150 twinkling lights, I'm just going to keep my 150 twinkling lights in my closet. Sorry.
And that's exactly what's done happening too. But man, to kind of go from that to a somber situation, since we all that's about to clear it, man. And Joy, I know we probably had this discussion, and I've asked you this question. And I'm going to keep the population out of it. We're just going to say 45% of Alabama at the time of the Civil War was supposedly enslaved. And they put all out there. My grandmama and my granddad at the time, 4 owned 3 humans. 2 were black, 1 wasn't. So 1 was something was wrong with. And this kind of gave you a little down-home skillet. So 45%. We're going to say, and that's counting everybody now. So when all the men took off to go fight in Virginia and where all, you know, I mean, everybody, they left the areas. I mean, there was strongholds here and there, but a lot of people, you know, a lot of the fight was in Virginia, West Virginia, and a lot up through there, because I guess we was trying to meet them head on. They was trying to take over the ports at that time. It really done switch. So toward that end, but what stopped everybody from leaving? Like, I mean, you got some women folk back home, down home, and what kept everybody? You can't tell me they were weak blooded and their mind kept them there, like they was used to it, because they come from blood that come across the ocean and seas and some of the roughest foul crap we could ever expect, and they made it.
Right.
So they strong blooded, real humans. Like, they ain't nothing weak about the people that brought over.
Sure.
And to say that. And real talk, you can't skip over. I want to say over Colombia, not Colombia, but Cuba, because sugarcane is really what kept slavery going in from the old town. Because we was the British was still wanting to shut it. They was trying to act like they washed their hands with slavery when actually pushing it in other countries to reap the benefits, but trying to look like they were all clean. So what kept them people from leaving? What kept them from killing the women? What kept them from raping the women? And let me tell you the other thing. What was going on at my homestead, where my folks were, is that my grandmama would actually, and if you want to call them slaves, people who stayed there, people they took care of their family, they were helping box up guns into coffins and send them to Virginia to my granddaddy in a train car.
Mm-hmm.
And my granddaddy got shot, got injured. They had a youngin at this time. I mean, things like, I don't know, it ain't even a year old yet. Maybe a little over a year. I can't exactly the exact month or the day they say the baby is. But the baby is there, so he gets hurt. She takes off to go take care of his wife. My grandmama times 4. The baby stays back. She wrote for 3 months. I got 3 months worth of notes where she wrote back and forth. Can't tell if she was gone longer than 3 months, but for a fact she was gone 3 months, and they took care of my granddaddy times 3. So they raised them while they was gone during this Civil War part. Now all this is documented just because of the notes and stuff that was left, and it's in a book, and I mean,
sure,
it's all, a diary. And so what kept the slaves from this taking over when the men folk left home? What stopped them from killing them? If it was so bad, what stopped them from stomping them? What stopped them from killing my granddad times 3? What stopped them from leaving? Why were they still back when my grandmama got back? That part don't make no sense, Joy, to me. I can't sew that together and say that we was down here. You know what I mean? That's
the amount of people that were controlled by a small group who had the means and the willingness to use violence still existed even with all sorts of men going off to war. But I also think this is why I said focus on the elites if you want to look at causes of any war, including the Civil War. Because when you start looking at everyday people have their own reasons for doing their own thing. And often they're under the thumb of the elites. So, like, why would somebody not run away or commit violence against others? Maybe they just didn't have any inclination to. Like, I don't know, Randall. I don't claim to be a Civil War buff or expert by any means.
No. Just putting the question out there to kind of show that it couldn't have been as bad. They would have left. They wouldn't have stayed back. They wouldn't have took care of my granddad times 3. You know, they wouldn't have raised him for 3 months. It just ain't no way if it was like it.
How many slaves did he own?
Just had three people stayed on the place, and 2 of them I know are right, and one of them something was wrong, wasn't right because they talked about, I don't know what kind of medicine they were giving them, but they talked about make sure give her such and such. Like the grandma was talking, in the note. Like it's 3 months that she was gone, and they stayed. You know what I mean? They took care of my soul. I'm here because supposedly the slaves that was wanting to be free stayed back and raised my granddaddy.
Yeah, and I guess my answer, Randall, is that without being a Civil War buff, without really knowing all the ins and outs of the era, my sense is that no matter the history that we learn in school or the political agenda of today or the political agenda of yesterday, individual people kind of defy your thumbnail narratives. So it could very well be, never underestimate people's love for one another, even when it doesn't make any damn sense based on the correct history.
I think you said love is what it was, and that when that that man came down here, there's a whole nother story where he brought slaves down to the South, and they thought they was coming to free their people because in their mind the South was still bad, still using bad in their mind. And he got them across the river, and it looks like it was right here in Montgomery where he got them in that U-shape, and they took the bridge up, and they entrapped them. And they didn't start it there because people here in the South took care of them. Like, this is a bunch of slaves that he brought down to say that, you know what I mean? It's just, there's so many diaries that are getting, and that's the other thing. These statues, people don't understand, they're getting tore down. The reason, and they're getting inside of the bottoms of the statues are time capsules. And in them time capsules are diaries, newspaper clippings. They are getting rid of the real regular history that was buried at that time. So when this statue was erected, whenever in the 60s and the 40s, that stuff they destroying all the time capsule stuff with these statues. So
well, again, Randall, and I'm running out of time here, but I would just suggest to folks, especially with something like, say, World War II, it ain't a Marvel movie. History ain't a Marvel movie. Right. Like, stop it. It's simply good guys, bad guys. No, it's always, especially when you get down to individual people, why they might have acted a certain way. It's always gnarly and more complicated and astounding in all different ways. And in hindsight, we kind of put these bows around things to make them make sense. But often in the midst, especially something like war, it doesn't make any damn sense. And you're just trying to do the best you can. Right. But I appreciate it, Randall.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all.
Love you, brother.
272-9228. Yeah, that's one thing that I don't feel this way. That, like, well, obviously the American government represents the people. Really? Even if, like, 80% of the people voted. Really?
That's something I learned.
Give me a break.
When I was in elementary school and we lived in Turkey. Turks hated Americans. Well, after talking to them, what you learn is they hated our government. And what was so ironic is myself, my family, and many others there were nothing like the American government. So the Turkish people were torn. They're like, I'm supposed to hate you.
Right.
But you're just like us, just a little bit paler. Like, yeah. And that's, to me, and I found that out throughout the world. Everywhere I've always gone, you're taught you're supposed to hate people. Hate these people. These are the worst.
Well, and where my mind goes when I saw this clip come out about Nikki Haley, Eddie, my mind went to this, like, how many people, and maybe it's documented in some way, I haven't read much Civil War history, admit it. Imagine how many people just did leave. They just went west.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
And
never heard from again.
Lived their life.
Yep. Just left.
Probably some had tragic ends or violent ends themselves going out into the wilderness, but others probably lived fine. It's like, y'all can have your war. I'm going to go find my own plot of this little plot on this earth and live.
It was a much smaller world then, and you think about places just like in Florida, the Everglades. Back then it was a lot smaller. It wasn't that hard to get lost. And I know there are movies about that too, especially people going west. They wanted nothing to do with the war. They just went west.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage.
Super folks, Joey.
They're really amazing folks. Folks,
In
to
fact,
kick off the new year.
I talked to Madeline this morning.
Yeah?
Somebody hit me up, a friend of ours hit me up with a VA question that I did not know the answer to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are let's see if I can get this right. If you are a VA, or if you were a VA widow, and your husband was killed during an act of war, you still qualify for a VA loan. Did you know that? Even though you're not the VA person, you're the widow.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
But you found that out from
There's
that.
several little caveats in there that I had no idea about.
That's why.
5-minute conversation with Madeline, and I was educated on it.
That's why, folks, if you're a veteran, we have a lot of military veterans here in the river region. We welcome y'all. This is the community's built on that in many ways. And if you haven't taken advantage of VA loan programs, whether it's somebody, the last bank you worked with or mortgage company you worked with didn't tell you about it.
Yeah, I had no idea. Never heard of
They
it.
didn't know, but the beautiful thing about Madeline and Kim, they're at Alabama Home Mortgage, is they did continuing education. They're the latest when it comes to the VA home mortgage programs. So whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance, I think you can refinance up to 100%.
Mm-hmm. On a veteran's loan, you bet.
Yeah, home's estimated value. Pretty amazing stuff. So check them out today. Again, that's Alabama Home Mortgage. That number, 567-4223.
Right.
That's 567-4223. You can also always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Get ready for a change of reality as colder air takes over. Today, abundant sunshine, but cold. High temperature only in the low 50s. A stiff north and northwesterly breeze will make it seem colder. Clear skies, sub-freezing tonight, low 29. Friday, more sun, but we may fall short of 50 degrees for the high. Freezing temperatures or below again Friday and Saturday night. Saturday's high barely up to about 51 with more sun, and we'll be in the upper 50s on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Rev things up in 2024 with Kubota and Capital Tractor. From the #1 rated compact tractor to the #1 selling compact excavator and more, we're powering Alabama. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from your local Roto-Rooter. The Tears family extends best wishes to all those in the river region this holiday season. Don't let plumbing issues turn your celebrations into a lump of coal. Roto-Rooter is a phone call or a click away for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 272-7130, or online at rotorooteralabama.com. And remember,
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter, Roto-Rooter.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. an equal housing lender.
Marguerite's absolute clearance sale. We only got 3 days left. Hurry on up. 3 days left. Absolute clearance at Marguerite's. Clearing all the cases. Old diamonds. Everything. Oh, I can't even talk about it. It's unbelievable. Friday, Saturday, and it's Thursday. I can't finish.
You okay? Do you need water? You good?
Okay, come out and see us. It's only till this Saturday. Absolute clearance at Marguerite's. Come on out, Pepper Tea Shop. Thank you.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. News and views in the afternoon. What you chuckling at?
I did not go to a Turkish bathhouse.
Oh, when you were living there as a boy?
Yes. I think I went by one once before, but I didn't go inside.
Yeah, young Eddie had to grow up quick, says the Romex angler.
I grew up pretty quick.
Let's go to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Michael, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing wonderful. How are y'all?
Doing all right. Now, say somebody's in the market for a mini fridge. You got some mini fridges over there at Cohen's?
We do. We do. So we have a couple in stock, and we have a large array that we can also get. Mini fridges, some people would like it to have a solid door. Some people want it to have a glass door.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want it to be more of a beverage center. Some people want it to be more of a freezer. There's just so many different options, which is another reason that it's better for you to come in, look, ask questions, let us ask you questions, and then we can help you make that right choice.
There you go. And so people get it exactly how they want it. Though I'd imagine if somebody's building out, say, a man cave, you don't want to have to walk into the kitchen and, upset your wife, whatever she's doing. You want to be able to grab that beer or that soda or whatever, like right there next to the couch.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's right. And we even have the availability of a refrigerator that holds a keg.
Now you're talking
about
about
how much of a man cave it really is.
A real man cave's got a kegerator in it, no doubt.
Oh, my.
That's right.
Didn't you have
That's
one of
right.
those
Yes,
for
I
a
do.
second, Eddie? You miss it?
Yeah.
You need to go buy Cohen's.
Actually, let me tell you, a real man cave does have a kegerator, but it also takes a real man not to drink a beer at 10 in the morning when there's a kegerator right there next to you.
I mean, why lose the buzz?
Right.
This keg ain't going to drink itself.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. We're no quitters.
So, if folks want to check this out, or so many of the great appliances and electronics you have there at Cohen's, people can always go to thinkcohens.com, but it's probably best they just stop by, right, Michael? 2515 Eastern Boulevard?
I think it's always better for people to be able to stop by and feel and touch. And, you just get a better experience because you get to ask questions. We get to ask questions, and then everybody leaves with more knowledge.
Well, there you go.
And you have that ability to make that better decision.
Well, I appreciate your time as always. What are your hours here coming up for this weekend?
So tomorrow and tonight we'll be open until 6.
Okay.
Saturday we'll be open until 4. And then, we'll be off because of the Alabama game, and it also happens to be New Year's Day on Monday. But Tuesday everything will be back to normal unless we lose, and then we'll probably be in mourning. There'll be a black wreath or something.
Well, Happy New Year, Michael. I know the game. We'll
All
talk
right.
again tomorrow, but I know the game
All right.
is going to be something, all right?
Yes, sir. All right. Y'all have a great day.
You too, Michael. Thank you, buddy.
Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. So would you get, with your kegerator, full-on keg, or was it like a pony keg? Or
All right, we started with a pony keg. It lasted like, 10 minutes. We had to go get a regular keg.
You know my buddy Andrew.
Yeah.
He always, when we were at Auburn, had a dream of building out his own kegerator.
After I got
He
the
never
first
quite
one,
got to. He bought a bunch of handles.
Yep.
Like, he was ready to
Dude.
go. He had the tap system. He just never quite built the cabinet.
when I got the first one, that was my immediate, I want a 5 or 6, tapper. I've got extra taps. I got everything. But all I ever did was just buy different beer when I got a keg. But the number one popular beer in my kegerator Busch Light.
Yeah, it's
I
simple.
tried-
It's
I
easy.
tried
You
so
can drink a
many of
lot
them.
of those and not be
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah, but yeah. I
Well,
tried
how
a lot.
many Busch Lights do you have to drink to get drunk? Like, I don't mean a little buzz. I mean the word drunk. How many Busch Lights would you have to drink to get drunk?
18.
What the percentage of that? It's only like 3-something
No,
percent.
I think it's. I mean, I think it's like 4%. But I'm a big guy. I got a little tolerance. But there was a time this weekend. I guess I shouldn't admit it, but I'll admit there was a time this weekend. I told Suzanne, if I finish this beer, I'm gonna be drunk. And when I finished that beer, I was drunk. And I think that was number 18. Like she's like, that's the one that's gonna do it. I was like, if I can, this is it.
This is the one. Just remember, lady, rehabs for quitters.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love the holiday spirit.
Me too.
Well, we got about 2 minutes left in this hour. So what else is going on in the news?
Nothing great, Joey.
Yeah?
You know, we got Carville fires back to our buddy Fetterman.
Yeah, because John Fetterman told James Carville,
basically, just shut up.
Shut the F up.
Right.
He literally said, shut the F up.
Yeah, Carville's response is, I don't even know that guy.
Wait, is Carville the one having a stroke now?
Right.
Like,
I was like, wait a minute. For one, I know he's lying. Let's be honest, we know he's lying.
and people are like, I didn't expect that from James Carville. I was like, the
Are
guy
you
who's
kidding me?
like, I think the best impersonation of Carville is probably Bill Hader of SNL.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude, he is a Louisiana polecat, wild and rabid. That is him, man. I'm telling you. And for him not to get, and I know he got worked up because I've seen him get worked up. For him not to get worked up knows that he's kind of putting it on. I know it got under his skin. For someone like Fetterman to talk to him.
Here's one thing we can share real quick before we have to hit the top of the hour break. A prediction from years ago. You know, maybe, Eddie, with the new year, you got to consider maybe I'm wrong about a few things. Maybe I messed up and I was mistaken, that I was on the wrong side of history. So here's John Kerry.
God, he still looks awful then.
I think this is from 2009. Yeah, 2009. So let's, it's what, now? It's about to be 2024?
Right.
Sea ice, which is melting at a rate that the Arctic Ocean now increasingly is exposed. In 5 years, scientists predict we will have the first ice-free Arctic summer.
Can we just go find those scientists and go ask their opinion now?
Hold on. In 5 years...
Scientists predict we will have the first ice-free Arctic summer.
And so that was in 2009, so 5 years later would have been 2014, which was 10 years ago. And is there an ice-free Arctic summer right now?
No, again, but I think we should go talk to him. Go say, hey, you want to stand by these? Because now, if you've noticed, Joey, a lot of scientists have come out and said, you know what? Look, we were kind of fibbing a little bit about the whole climate change. We need a little more money in our budgets. We knew this would do it.
Yeah, we just need to measure a little more better.
Right. It's a scam, folks. Big scam.
We'll be right back. Final hour, news and views on a Thursday after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The mayors of Chicago, New York City, and Denver have renewed pleas for more federal help and coordination with Texas over the growing number of asylum seekers arriving in their cities by bus and plane. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott's busing operation has transported more than 80,000 migrants to Democratic-led cities since last year. The house where 4 University of Idaho students were killed last year has been demolished. School officials view the demolition as a key toward finding closure. In consumer news, BlendJet recalling about 4.8 million of its portable blenders over laceration and fire hazards after receiving dozens of injury reports. Stocks are higher, the Dow up 98 points, and the NASDAQ adding 24 points. This is SRN News.
In
Dinesh D'Souza's new blockbuster movie. Police State exposes the government's plot to control MAGA conservatives.
These are anti-government.
We have freedom of religion and freedom of speech.
Violent extremists, and they must be dealt with.
MAGA Republicans threaten the very foundation of our republic.
Mass surveillance, censorship, and armed attacks. There's nowhere to hide.
FBI, we have an arrest warrant.
15 marked units on my property.
Military-styled soldiers pointing an automatic rifle at my head.
Are we becoming a police state?
It may be the Russia other people grew up in, but not my America.
Directed by Dinesh D'Souza, Debbie D'Souza, and Bruce Shuley. Police State sounds the alarm.
What we need is a person, and then we go find out what crime you did. How did we give the state this kind of power?
Police State. They have their lists. Are you next?
If they're coming for me, they're coming for you.
Police State. Buy it or stream it now at salemnow.com. salemnow.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by the Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Get ready for a change of reality as colder air takes over. Today, abundant sunshine, but cold. High temperature only in the low 50s. A stiff north and northwesterly breeze will make it seem colder. Clear skies, sub-freezing tonight, low 29. Friday, more sun, but we may fall short of 50 degrees for the high. Freezing temperatures or below again Friday and Saturday night. Saturday's high barely up to about 51 with more sun, and we'll be in the upper 50s on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
Around this time a year ago, North Alabama residents in the Tennessee Valley had below freezing temperatures and, as a result, rolling blackouts by the Tennessee Valley Authority and other power companies. This year, the TVA is telling residents what they have done to avoid future blackouts. Mark Rutland is a plant manager at a TVA plant. He says that the company has spent $123 million in preventative measures and repairs since last year's blackouts. Rutland does not expect blackouts this season. However, Rutland said there is no way to fully predict what's going to happen in the months and years ahead. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
There have been 441 confirmed drug fatalities in Jefferson County this past year, with 33 suspected drug fatalities yet to be confirmed. Jefferson County Coroner Bill Yates said there's been an increase of 100 drug deaths year to year, and this year's growth is not as dramatic as it has been before. However, he did say with as much effort that's being put forth to educate the public on the dangers of opioids and other drugs, it's unfortunate that there isn't a decrease in drug fatalities. The Alabama $1 Million Band will be marching in the Rose Parade on January 1st. The Rose Bowl is held in Pasadena, California. This year, the band also got to be part of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson and the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought this problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99, and that includes all testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We got Eddie Bader here in the studio with me.
In the house?
So is there anything in particular you're looking forward to in the new year, Eddie? Anything at all?
The first good closing of the year. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we all? Wait, in all seriousness, how many people do you think drop out of your profession this next year?
Right now, conservatively, I'd say 15% easy. First of the year.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens after that.
And I don't think it's just going to be your industry.
Oh,
I
no,
think
no,
it's
no. It's
across the
gonna be
board here.
across.
But no, we're saying that the soft landing was hit. We're fine.
Yeah. There are certain things you can tell in the economy that are moving and certain things are not. And unfortunately, the news is always, honestly, about a month behind. It's just like when you see, they'll say, homes prices are up. That's like 30 days ago. And I've literally seen them report that when home prices were not up. So, yeah.
So we've got some odds and ends, stuff that I just didn't get to. You know, and we had that call earlier from James saying that the biggest sexual organ you got, at least for most people, is in between your ears.
Correct.
It's that brain of yours. I think some people have a fancy word for that now, like, I'm a sapiosexual. I only like people who are smart. I'm attracted to people's intelligence.
That explains why I've never heard of that.
Yeah. But that's not all. There are other new terms coming out.
Oh, great.
Now, this person says they're head over heels in love, but it isn't about sex, or at least it's...
it's not just about sex.
Right.
Well, it's not supposed to be if you're just head over heels in love. That'd be lust, right?
A self-proclaimed ecosexual took nature loving to the extreme after becoming infatuated with an oak tree, which she says fills her with erotic energy. There was an eroticism with something so big and so old holding my back, said Sonia Semyonovich, or something like that. She's 45.
Somebody needs to go check her hard drive.
She's a self-proclaimed ecosexual, defined by Here Come the Ecosexuals. Wait, is that a book?
I just remember that show that had weird people loving weird things on it, and one guy was like in love with a car, another guy was in love with a building, and I didn't see the tree girl, but again.
But what is an ecosexual? Its definition is, quote, someone who finds nature romantic, sensual, and sexy, and often imagines Earth as their lover. Ew.
You know, it's just... They like camping a lot, do they? You hear that, William B? They like camping a lot.
I'm looking at the lady now. Yeah, it's starting to make sense. She also, this ecosexual who fell in love with an oak tree, specialized in erotic storytelling. Said she'd lay eyes on a giant oak tree while on her daily nature strolls during lockdown. I was walking a path near the tree 5 days a week for the whole winter. I noticed a connection with the tree. I would lie against it.
I would hope the squirrels would throw nuts at her.
The naturalist connection continued to grow stronger like a piece of oak until summer 2021, when she started developing erotic feelings for the mighty hardwood. Describing her sappy romantic yearnings, this ecosexual said she loves the feeling of being tiny and supported by something so solid and the feeling of not being able to fall. This is from the New York Post, by the way, people.
Somebody just sent me a text. Poison ivy is the new STD.
Or in her case, poison oak.
I don't understand, Joey. I don't understand. But I just learned one over the past weekend, a seahorse. You know what a seahorse is?
Like an animal.
Right. That's what I always thought.
Yeah.
No, apparently that's a term for a woman. No, hold on. Yes, it'd be a woman that's transferred into a man, and she has a kid. They call it a seahorse. I've never heard of such a thing.
No, it just sounds like a chick who had a baby.
And she's got a beard and a mustache, too, by the way, now. It was...
Yeah, so do a lot of Italian women. What do you mean?
Well, the strange part to me was that she's raising the kid, and all is good there, well, as good can be, but her whole dilemma was, I don't know if I'm going to let this baby call me dad. I would hope that her parents have a lot to do with raising of that kid. But at the same time, that worries me. They raised the one that's a seahorse.
The story continues, though. Branching out into love with other life forms might seem weird, but the tree hugger says that being with people just doesn't compare. The presence I feel with the tree is what I'm looking for, but that's a fantasy with a person, she lamented. I had been craving the rush of erotic energy that comes when you meet a new partner, and that is not sustainable. She clarifies she doesn't physically engage in intercourse with the tree. Good to know!
Thanks for clearing that up.
But rather, the tree-erotic experience is all in her mind.
Like I said, somebody needs to check her hard drive.
A big misconception is that ecosexuality means sex between people and nature. It's a different way to explore the erotic. To watch the changing of the seasons is to me an erotic act. You go from death in winter, and then everything comes alive in spring and mates. Oh, God. These salacious plant cravings might seem like a perversion. However, the extreme leaf peeper claims that ecosexuality is already present in a lot of people, and that getting in touch with our roots could solve a lot of climate issues. Brings up a whole other can of issues, though. Anyway, there's that story.
Bet she'd really like your paddle.
Yeah?
Bet she would.
That one?
Yep.
Why?
Because it's wood, and she thinks wood is good.
No, I mean, wood is good. Keeps you warm when you need to.
I think that's made out of pine. I would just tell her it's oak. She ain't gonna know the difference.
Yeah, I think that's pine. If somebody used nice hardwood for that thing, they wasted a lot of money. I'll put it that way. Oh, my goodness. Well, we've gone from the bizarre to...
Besides, I forgot to ask you, where did you get that story
New
from?
York Post.
Is it like the back towards
No,
in the advertisements
like
or something?
right there. There's on a lot of conservative aggregator websites, too. Because it's just odd.
It's very odd. But the calendar was a problem?
Right.
Okay.
No, but everything's a problem, right? But get a load of this. This is from CNN. The headline is, Why Resurrection Biology is Gaining Traction Around the World.
Okay.
Resurrection biology, attempting to bring strings of molecules and more complex organisms back to life, is gaining traction in labs around the world. Wait, like Frankenstein?
Yes, that's where we're going, Joey.
He's going to be very popular. The work is a far cry from the genetically engineered dinosaurs that escaped the blockbuster movie Jurassic Park, although for some scientists the ultimate goal is de-extinction and resurrecting animals and plants that have been lost. I don't know why I said it in that tone of voice.
Island of Dr. Moreau.
Other researchers are looking to the past for new sources of drugs or to sound an alarm about the possibilities of long-dormant pathogens. The field of study is also about recreating elements of human history in an attempt to better understand how our ancestors might have lived and died. So there's one here that's reviving zombie viruses. Another, a hunt for new antibiotics, goes back to the Ice Age, because I guess the ones we've had aren't as effective anymore.
That's something I've always thought about. Okay, you got melting glaciers, so everything, that was alive and died during that time is wrapped up in those glaciers. So as those glaciers melt, if you have any old bacteria or anything,
and a lot of this seems like pretty standard sciencey stuff like plotting the resurrection of the dodo, woolly mammoth, and Tasmanian tiger to see how they went extinct and understand them in the flesh. But then this last one is just like, who approved this research grant? They're trying to use resurrection biology, Eddie, to figure out what Egyptian mummies smelled like.
I can already answer that. There was no deodorant back then. They stank. Before they were dead, and even after they was dead.
But apparently visitors to Denmark's Mosgard Museum can sniff the scent of an Egyptian mummification balm last used 3,500 years ago. Hey, would you like to sniff my balm? It's been preserved for over a millennia or 2 or 3.
I bet it still stinks.
Wait, is this article approved by the Alchemist of America or something? What the heck is this?
Again, are you at the back of the pages of the
No,
New
this
York?
is CNN.
Oh, well, there you go.
I mean, in Alabama politics, Will Ainsworth's real excited for school choice legislation in 2024.
And don't forget the widening of I-65.
I agree with him there.
Right, we're still excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, all these, we got to recreate the wheel. Let's have a Hyperloop from Elon Musk and let's make it wider.
We'll make it wider.
I like it, Will.
Me too.
No, and I like Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth really pushing the school choice agenda. I really do appreciate that. But honestly, we talked about it yesterday, and I'm like, we'll talk to Governor Ainsworth next year probably about this.
Yeah, but I am glad it still gets people excited. It's not something that people are just willing to let go one way or the other. They still want answers, and they still want to be involved. And I hate to say it, but with our government, you really got to be involved. Or they'll just run you right over.
Now, I got a thing. We're going to have to hit a break, though.
Did you get a shot?
We'll talk about that later, off air. I sniffed that balm and anyway. I did have an op-ed that came out Tuesday.
Did you?
Yeah, it's called 2024, the Year of Mutually Assured Destruction in American Politics.
It's another positive piece by Joey Clark.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, let's hear it.
Well, we got to hit a break first.
All right, let's hit this break. Push
we'll
through.
Get into it.
And let's hear another positive piece from Joey Clark.
But first, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, with that home of yours, whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, buy or sell a property. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group can help you out in that regard. They can also help you if you're looking to turn a property into a rental investment. Great idea in this market, though. Managing that as a landlord can be a pain in the butt. If you don't have any experience, advise against doing something like that. Why not, for a reasonable fee, have the Goodson Group manage that rental investment for you? Then Bo Goodson's 40-plus years of experience here in the River region, it really comes into play at the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. One of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs here in the state of Alabama. Because, the proof's in the pudding. A lot of folks have gone on and graduated from Bo's Real Estate School, and whether it's fully licensed realtors or just more knowledgeable private players, they've hit the ground running, finding success. That could be you. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. More news and views when we come back. Yes, we'll be talking about 2024, the year of mutually assured destruction in American politics. Be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Have there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Put the power of Action 8 News in the palm of your hand. Download the free Action 8 News app to stay on top of breaking news wherever you are. Search for WAKA News in your app store to download the Action 8 News app today. Keep your family safe by watching Action 8 News. Look for 8 on Your Side consumer alerts with product recalls involving cars, food, children's toys, and other items in your home. 8 on Your Side, keeping you safe only on Action 8 News.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. I'm Joey. He's Eddie. How you doing?
All right, how you doing?
I'm okay. Just powering through. Weird week.
We're in that funky spot, man.
What do you mean?
Well, we had Christmas. New Year's is coming up, so you're kind of in that weird spot in between. Some people are working. Those that are at the office have no vacation left. That's the only reason they're there.
Right.
Be honest, not many people are getting anything done. Typical answer you're going to hear is, see me after the 1st.
Right.
So it's that weird spot to be.
But we can all look forward to next year, right? Especially when it comes to politics.
It's going to be a good one.
So, again, this came out at 1819news.com on Tuesday. And, again, I did not hit trending. Maybe it's because I'm so dour.
Maybe you're dropping these truth bombs.
Maybe I'm just telling the truth. People don't like it. They find it indiscernible from a headache.
Maybe write something about puppies next time.
Okay, sure. I wrote something about
nice.
I wrote something about bubble lights the other day. People didn't seem to like that enough either. But something about becoming an uncle. Now it gives you perspective on loss and what life means.
See,
that.
You got deep on them. Let's go with puppies and puppies' breath.
Like people puppies are great or something?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be a...
Hey, who likes foosball? That's coming out next week.
All right.
Why we love football here in Alabama. No, seriously, I'll write that. Watch it go viral.
Of course. Duh.
But the one I did pen ended up being 2024, the year of mutually assured destruction in American politics. Begins with a, lengthy quote, but this is a fascinating book called Human Smoke by Nicholson Baker. I've talked about it on the show before. He tells the history of World War II, but instead of it being this big, broad sweep, like looking down from 10,000 feet, God's eye view, it more starts all the way back in 1892, and it's just quick newspaper headlines and blurbs.
Okay.
At most a tweet length. And it just goes through the chronology, go through the timeline just using
Just using the headlines.
All these excerpts in diaries, but newspapers, all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
This is how the book begins. This is just the first page, folks, how I begin this article. Alfred Nobel, the manufacturer of explosives, was talking to his friend, the Baroness Bertha von Suttner, author of Lay Down Your Arms. Von Suttner, a founder of the European anti-war movement, had just attended the Fourth World's Peace Conference in Bern. It was August 1892. Perhaps my factories will put an end to war even sooner than your congresses, Alfred Nobel said. On the day when two army corps may mutually annihilate each other in a second, probably all civilized nations will recoil with horror and disband their troops. Stefan Zweig, a young writer from Vienna, sat in the audience of a movie theater in Tours, France, watching a newsreel. It was spring 1914. An image of Wilhelm II, the Emperor of Germany, came on the screen for a moment. At once the theater was in an uproar. Everybody yelled and whistled, men, women, and children, as if they'd been personally insulted, Zweig wrote. The good-natured people of Tours, who knew no more about the world and politics than what they had read in their newspapers, had gone mad for an instant. Zweig was frightened. It had only been a second, but one that showed me how easily people anywhere could be aroused in a time of crisis, despite all attempts at understanding. That's just the first page of that book. Now, me. Unless I'm mistaken and have gone completely mad, which is not an impossibility whatsoever. Okay. You know me, Eddie.
Keep that in mind.
The American people seem prone to losing their collective minds heading into the crisis of the 2024 presidential election. Put simply, American democracy keeps killing the thing it theoretically loves, individual liberty. Yet American democracy does not die. Indeed, against all odds, American democracy persists, driven by an insatiable appetite for collective power that is, regrettably, leading us down a path of increasing incivility. It's as though we're caught in the throes of a great and bloody unraveling of our social fabric. I, for one, harbor a profound mistrust of the frenzied masses, particularly when they invoke the banner of democracy. The democratic mob tends to reduce liberty to a mere facade, concealing its true desire for power, sometimes even wielding the authority to extinguish individual liberty if it deems it necessary. This herd mentality has the unsettling effect of convincing the populace that their liberty is a creation of the collective in the political process, rather than an inherent birthright of each individual prior to the existence of government. Democracy extends power to the masses, but it often leads the people to prioritize this pursuit of power over the safeguarding of their own liberty. With victory, their ultimate objective, civility, is relegated to the back seat, making way for conformity, virtue signaling, and emotionally charged appeals to tribe and pride. Indeed, if the United States body politic continues fostering contempt and resentment with a sense of perpetual crisis, pitting right hand against left, it will eventually stab itself through the heart with daggers etched in the nation's founding principles: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, shedding tears of blood from sullied steel. I fervently hope that such a day never comes to pass, but our only hope of averting national self-destruction lies in our ability to maintain civility and clarity of thought amidst a tempestuous sea of troubles. Being civilized is not synonymous with being polite or etiquette, by the way. Freedom, after all, doesn't always manifest itself as quote-unquote nice. No, to be civilized is to recognize fundamental principles that transcend the boundaries of nation, party, kin, or tribe. True civilization acknowledges that order and virtue cannot thrive without the foundation of individual liberty. To preserve human dignity and provide a counterbalance when the unbridled pursuit of power threatens to obliterate it, liberty, order, and virtue must coexist in a dynamic tension. The restoration of God-given liberty is the crucial step the United States of America must take if we are to avoid a fate akin to Dorian Gray's self-inflicted doom. However, this restoration must run counter to the prevailing herd mentality in our relentless march towards an ever-expanding democracy and bureaucracy in the name of bigger and better. Can the United States remain sufficiently civilized to avert its own self-fulfilling demise? The answer lies in our ability to establish a foundation that transcends the limitations of human construction. We must recognize that salvation will not come from the realm of politics, not even from the realm of democracy itself. So that wasn't very popular, but whatever.
I kind of liked it. Again, though, Joey, you're telling truths, and some truths people are uncomfortable hearing.
Well, here's something a little more relatable.
All right.
Well, the world seems to be taking a dark turn for the worse. Last night I watched some Norm Macdonald clips for 2 and 3 hours with my 87-year-old grandfather.
That's cool.
And as we laughed, everything seemed quite beautiful, despite the darkness. That's what I did last night. And I played guitar afterwards.
I got a question for you. This is a deep question. It's probably going to require a little bit of thought from you.
All right.
Would you rather go to jail for a year, or would you rather go to jail with a Rubik's Cube and when you get it solved, you get out?
The Rubik's Cube, I think I could solve it.
You think you could?
Yeah.
How long do you
A
think
lot
it
faster.
takes?
Not quickly, but a lot quicker than a year.
6 weeks?
I would hope faster than that. Like, am I allowed to study up on how to solve a Rubik's Cube?
They said they just give you the Rubik's Cube on the way in. If you get this done, you get out then. If not, we'll see you in a year. I would like to think the Rubik's Cube, but I would think, in my own mind, I would go so crazy, I would smash the Rubik's Cube in the end.
It's possible.
Yeah, just my own patience with
But
that.
there's got to be a method to that madness. Like, some of these kids can solve it so daggone-
you're right.
And I'm sure it's a count of certain turns and whatnot, but
I never was that
don't
kid.
know.
I could do the checkered and I could put it back to normal. But if you gave me the one that was messed up, I gave it back to you worse than you gave it to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or I could take them apart. Now that's where
cheating.
it is. But at the same time, Joey, is it just overcoming the odds that were put in front of you? And that's what I did.
But, you know, folks, I'm very serious about this, and people keep looking at me odd.
What?
But it's like when that NBC News reporter, the very good-looking one, the producer for the Today Show, was at the Trump dinner.
Mm-hmm.
They interviewed me, and she asked me all sorts of political questions, like, what do you think of Tommy Tuberville's stand?
Right. She was looking for the gotcha.
Yeah, something like that. But then they were like, well, if it's not Trump and it's not, like, how does this nation come together? And I think I said to her, I don't think it's going to be politics that solves our problems.
I agree. Politics make things worse.
And I'm coming at this as a guy who's still wrestling with his faith, but I tend to think the only thing that's going to make things better for everyone is a revival of sorts, or an awakening, or something where it humbles everybody.
Mm-hmm.
To say that your pursuit of power may not be on the side of the saints or God. Humbles everybody. Unfortunately, in history, that's usually a great calamity. You would have thought that COVID might have been that great calamity. That didn't seem to humble people at all.
Made things worse.
I just don't think voting in the right people is actually going to solve the deeper problems that continue to bedevil our society. I honestly don't think reconfiguring the laws this way or that way is actually going to solve all sorts of problems that seem incredibly pernicious and insidious in long run. Whether it's our lacking education across the nation, not just in this godforsaken state, pardon me, or many other issues that we seem to be dropping the ball on. Like how old people are continually getting fleeced at the end of life with medical costs, for instance.
Yeah. Or the state area. Yeah. There's a whole...
Yeah. No, it seems like after an amazing golden years, that Goldilocks zone, that we're really screwing up the end game.
We are. There are folks drooling for people to become old and vulnerable, and they prey on them.
Yep.
I see it every day.
No, now living with my grandfather, I see the calls.
Right. You see the calls,
It's just
look
crazy.
at the TV ads, look at...
It's crazy.
Right.
Well, and I think in the special we watch of Norm Macdonald, he's got a joke about a reverse mortgage. Like, a normal mortgage, you're making payments to the bank,
right.
And eventually after 20-something years, maybe faster, you pay it off, and you own a little piece of the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reverse mortgage is the exact opposite of that.
Right. Now,
like where you become homeless eventually.
Eventually, you
I
do.
guess you're making the bet you're going to die before you run out of money in the house.
And that's a pretty desperate situation.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. I get why the product exists. But
Right. I get why the product exists too. But what's frustrating, and I'm in that business, home sales business, realtor. What's frustrating is you got a 30-year mortgage. You're 28 years in that 30-year mortgage and you hit a rough patch. Those 28 years don't mean nothing. We're going to throw you out of that house just as quick as if you had just bought it yesterday.
Wow.
That bothers me.
That bothers
There
me
should
too.
be in the United States, there should be an out for that. There should be where somebody can step in. We have the money, we have the technology. It's nothing but greed, because there are people that long for you to make that mistake. I can't wait till he gives that mortgage 2 days or 3 days behind and start making my case to get that house.
No, and here's the kicker. What's happening? If I agree with you and you agree with me that, hey, Joey, I'll give you 2 feet of rope every month for the next 20 years. But you start in the next year or two, 5 years, you start changing the definition of what 2 feet means. It ain't 24 inches anymore. Inches. We're going to the metric system.
Right.
And in fact, we're going to redefine it so it's to the advantage of the banks and to the advantage of the big players with the power and the pull.
Is that not happening right now with the retirement folks in Alabama?
Over and over again.
Changing the rules. When you get old, you get vulnerable.
And I admit my cast of mind is pretty extreme. It's like, how about we go back to everybody's responsible for theirs and their own?
I love
that you don't get to throw your cost on everybody else.
But I had a bad life, Joey.
Maybe you did. But when we create a system that constantly is trying to tell folks you can live life without tears,
doesn't work.
What you're doing is setting up a system for psychopaths and sociopaths to run, and they will if they have not already taken over these systems. So Happy New Year, everyone. 272-9228. Oh, that's awful. I'm trying to find something happy, but everything's just awful.
Are you still looking at bad stuff, Joey?
What?
Are you still looking at negative things?
No, like Indiana Child Services took their kid away when they refused to affirm his gender identity.
Well, what about this?
And there's
Joey?
another one in Oregon, too. Another exact type of story.
If you're a toy store, or any store for that matter, and you got more than 500 employees, the government now says you have to have a gender-neutral toy aisle. You have 500 employees and you're a toy store in the United States. You have to have a gender-neutral toy aisle, or we're going to fine you.
What do you mean gender-neutral toy aisle?
What you tell me what that is? But
I
a
don't know what that is.
gender-neutral toy aisle, a toy aisle for folks that I guess are gender-neutral.
If that means I got to start selling dildos to kids,
I'm
closing my store.
I don't know what it means, but again, I'm a mom and pop business. I've been selling toys for kids, good toys for hundreds of years, 50 years. Now the government's going to come in and say, hey, we don't like the way you've done that. And they can and they will. And again, no one's standing up. No one's standing up for this.
No, but I'm looking at the list here and looking at all the headlines coming in. Oh, look, Israel has a war on 7 fronts. Oh, the U.S. is striking Iranian proxies all throughout Iraq. Oh, there's more things getting blown up in Russia and Ukraine.
Oh, they had a great ski weekend this weekend in Ukraine.
Just all so great. How about this? Let's hit a break. But first, again, this part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. And let's remind folks of that custom design work. Of course, Dillon Rings is going to be off on vacation until January the 3rd.
January 3rd, yep.
But there at Dillon Rings, when they open back up for the new year, maybe you want to get something custom for you. Have a little fun when you're going out on the town. Maybe like a Funky Fresh medallion.
I would love a Funky Fresh medallion.
That would be cool. It's a fun idea.
Yes.
Like matching ones, like we've already. You still got your bracelet?
Fat Baby Fart?
Yeah, it's permanent.
That's right.
Best friend bracelets. We could go with what would we go with?
I'd like to have either a big star or even it's Alabama. We could do the camellia, which is the Alabama state flower.
I was thinking a J and an E.
Well, we can do that too.
Dazzle it a little bit. But it doesn't have to be Funky Fresh medallions. It could be you want to customize an engagement ring.
Well, I keep thinking of Sky's ring. You know, Sky had some extra jewelry, had some extra stones laying around, and he went and seen Josh, and he said, hey, make me something. Use your creativity. And he did. It was amazing. And then when we were in there, he had his model up there on the TV. You can have any kind of hand, any color hand you want. And you look what the ring looks like or the bracelet on your hand. To me, that's pretty good technology. Plus, from a guy that I don't know where he gets his ideas from. I don't have that kind of creation. If you hand me a gold ring, I'm going to hand you back a gold ring.
No, the truth is, if you can dream it, Josh Ryder can make it a reality.
Yeah.
They'll do a digital rendering and even, match your skin tone and have like a hand it's on so you can see how it looks before he actually creates the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you approve it, then he'll go ahead and make real thing to put on your real finger or around your wrist or your neck, whatever it is you're getting done. Whatever it is you're getting customized. So check out Dillon Rings today. You can always go to DillonRings.com, but I really encourage you to stop by that showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder when you stop by in the new year that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. Oh, we've got the story about California approving a new poop filtration system, toilet to tap scheme to pump treated sewage back into people's homes. I thought we were already doing that around these parts, though. Maybe it'll work out for the West. I don't know. More News and Views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson and the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought this problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99, and that includes all testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
It's fall, y'all, at Mama's Produce, and boy, do we have what you need. We have mums of every color. Corn stalks will be in soon, pumpkins. We have fall flowers and fall vegetables. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Mama's Produce. We post what we have as soon as it comes in so that you're right there. Check out our gift ideas as well.
Y'all come on down to Mama's, right next to Prattville Farm Center, 1154 South Memorial Drive. Everybody loves Mama's.
Hi, I'm Paul Doe. Me and my wife Jessica own the Seafood Bistro over here in Perry Hill and Carmichael. We've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for going on 3 years now. It has been a great turnout. It's been a pleasure partnering with a local company like Blue Water. And if you have your own business, I suggest teaming up with a partner like Blue Water Broadcasting. It's a local company that helps local businesses.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Get ready for a change of reality as colder air takes over. Today, abundant sunshine but cold. High temperature only in the low 50s. A stiff north and northwesterly breeze will make it seem colder. Clear skies, sub-freezing tonight, low 29. Friday, more sun, but we may fall short of 50 degrees for the high. Freezing temperatures or below again Friday and Saturday night. Saturday's high barely up to about 51 with more sun, and we'll be in the upper 50s on Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228. If you want to get in on the conversation, it's 272-9228. Again, you can always go to Joey Clark Alive on the YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
And yes, also on the X platform.
Oh, that's right.
And apparently comments on the X platform are supposed to show up.
I saw one. Yeah, yesterday, so it did show up.
It showed up on the actual stream service?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll go back and
There are
check.
StreamYard's claiming that you can now get X-platform comments, so we
Cool.
can try that out more.
All right.
But, we're getting a good little group of
that.
subscribers together on
That
the
Romex
YouTube.
Angler, he sure is a funny guy.
He is a good fella, though.
I hate for him to be working on something electrical and somebody turn the breaker on.
It's kind of morbid.
No, it happens sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Safety thing, always check. Always lock out, tag out.
Oh, by the way, if you have one of those old barrel, like, what are those old school fuses? Like when you have a blown fuse and like
fuse.
old barrel fuse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're trying to take one of those out and it breaks, don't use needle nose pliers to try to get the rest of it out of the socket.
Why? Does that complete the circuit?
Yeah, and you're going to get it. Happened to a roommate of mine when I was sitting in the living room, and I heard an explosion, him go, ah! And the lights went out. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you need to turn off the main power before you do that. I didn't name any names because I love the guy. But
How's his fingertips?
He's all right. He's all right. Let's go to, of all folks, Sparky. Hey, Sparky.
What's up, Sparky?
Were you talking about me? Anyway, I always had a lot of respect for Tom Selleck until he had that reverse mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's just getting into trouble.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
But the real reason I called, this is a question for Eddie. You see every now and then on television about somebody who had their mortgage stolen right out from under them. Does that happen?
I guess it does. I'm not aware of any time it's ever happened. I have talked to a few closing attorneys who kind of told me what it takes to make that happen. But me personally, I don't know of anyone that's ever happened to. I could see how
The way everything's become digitized now,
I
it's
can
probably
see how
one
it
of
could
them.
happen, and I could see someone if they were, especially a family member, if a family member trusted you, I could see how they could sign
Mhm.
something like that away. But no, the ones that I see about in the commercials you see too, I've never heard that happen.
You're talking
And it
about
might
like a
be.
title lock,
Yeah,
service?
yeah. Basically, somebody shows up one day,
Yeah.
they're like, "I own your house now," and you're like, "Huh? How'd that happen?" Yeah. So
Is that a bank screw up?
it can be. In fact, when all that was going on in was 2008,
Collusion.
yeah, a friend of
Yeah.
mine had a deal, a bank loan with Wells Fargo, paid it off. It took him a year, and I don't know how many phone calls, probably 12. Every month they kept telling him, "You still owe money on the house." He said, "No, you still owe me my deed." This went on for a year until he threatened to sue him. Then he got his deed. So
Well, Wells Fargo is the worst.
yeah, they won't be around much longer either. But that is a case. A lot of people, homestead exemption, a lot of things like that. People take it, for granted that it's going to get taken care of. No, there are things you have to do, to
do
to
your
keep it-
homework, right?
Yeah, exactly. No one's going to do it for you.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Sparky. See you, bro.
Let's go to Papa B.
Papa B.
Papa B. So, I just wanted to say that I got kind of hot under the collar
Oh?
on the last show.
Oh.
Well, we're talking about FBI now. Apparently, widespread covert spying on Catholics.
I seen something like
You
that.
know. Well, look. Go ahead. Tell me.
Well, what I saw is, and I'm guessing what you're referring to. A while back, they were saying that basically they were putting spies in the Catholic Church, and they were.
Yeah.
And they pretty much, somebody asked the government flat out about it, and they said no, it's not true. But then, a couple weeks later, documents proved that maybe that wasn't the case after all. They're trying to get.
I got caught.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but Chris Ray and Merrick Garland, they kind of minimalized, that's just one field agent and blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. And now it turns out, no, it's everywhere. They knew it. It's like a policy thing.
Right.
Law-abiding, tax-paying American citizens under investigation. And I told, Scott, look, I'm glad that they're finally becoming aware of it, but it's been happening with, the Protestants for a long, long time now. I'm glad that they're finally becoming aware of it. So, it's unbelievable that here in this country, it's not the Chinese, it's not people, getting illicit payments from, backroom deals in Ukraine or drug kingpins, human trafficking. No, that's not their concern. No, it's these nasty church-going folks. That's who we need to investigate.
Well, these people claim that God has authority, not the
Right.
government.
There you go.
They might
Exactly.
they might do radical
Right.
things like secede or
Right.
start their own nation or fight
No,
back.
what
Actually,
the-
and my problem, Papa B, and maybe folks hear it in the tone of my voice that earlier segment. It just pops up after I start really thinking about this stuff. Is I think they're a bunch of illegitimate, corrupt thugs. And the government in general. Illegitimate, corrupt thugs that are more about lying, pull, and privilege and who you know, instead of actually hewing to any principle or any appeal to heaven. And they don't care how many nations or individuals they have to destroy to get what they want or the glory they seek.
Right.
Absolutely. I believe that.
So to hell with
Well,
them.
and I would just have to say, look, to my dear friends that are black, don't get too comfortable and don't celebrate too early because you're on the menu too, pal. You're just down in the dessert section somewhere on this apocalyptic beast. I mean, in the words to paraphrase Joe Biden, if you don't goose step to this garbage, then guess what? You ain't black enough. And you never will be. It's coming for you too. Just give it some time. My grandfather and his generation put an existential beat down on this kind of thinking and the people that, head off on this path. And it has lasted for almost 100 years. Now, he's a fictional character, I know, but I love J.R. Tolkien's work.
Oh, yeah.
Gandalf was quoted as saying, some evils never die. You have got to constantly be vigilant and guard against it. And what has happened here, you don't have to have much imagination to see, they couldn't take us in a frontal assault. So they infiltrated our government and our institutions, with alliances. It's widespread. It's not just here in this country. It's now worldwide, just about, and that's the reason I call it an organized crime syndicate.
Amen.
This is going to get dealt with as the American people wake up. They are cordoning off the rot that is basically the Republican and Democrat Party, and it's going to get dealt with.
Well, and what I would hope is
taking some time to wake up for it.
I hope they do wake up, and what I would hope too is that people don't pray that my political agenda will win the day, because I think you're fooling yourself. I think what we should pray for is that politics becomes less important in our lives. Like the more and more things become political and become a function of who's elected, who's up, who's down, who's got pull or privilege with the government, the worse society's going to get in almost every aspect.
Absolutely.
And I think I wrote this a while back, that politics 9 times out of 10 is a march to slaughter. Some animals just know it better than others and get to the dinner table first at the expense of others who provide the meat at a very high price.
Oh, yeah. Well, they, like I said, they're on the menu, too. Maybe they know it, maybe they don't. But they're just feeding others to the beast so that they don't get eaten right away. So, but I had a thought or a point here, but...
well, I got to run anyway. I'm running out of time here.
Yep. We'll talk to you later.
This part of the program brought to you by XI Repair. And there at XI Repair, Jonathan Strange and his team are ready to help you out with those smartphone repairs, from cracked screen to water damage, maybe a battery not holding a charge, maybe you got a dirty port that won't connect to that charger of yours. Could be you got a virus or you're locked out of your account. Well, XI Repair can help you with all that, often in like 30 minutes at an incredible reasonable price. They can also do work on desktop computers, laptop computers, top-end gaming consoles. They can even do data recovery. Say old text people deleted on purpose, or maybe a big project or something you love very much you accidentally deleted and didn't have backed up. Well, XI Repair can fix it. So check them out today. You can always call them at 777-1234 or go to xirepair.com, and be sure to tell those fine folks there at XI Repair that you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. Quick break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and I'm talking today with an elf. Hello! So you live up here at the North Pole and you work for Santa, is that right?
Yeah, that's about it, man.
And I guess you're pretty tight with Santa.
We are like 2 peas in a pod, man.
So I guess you guys share a money man.
That is correct, sir. We both use our friend David Ernest, who takes care of our money.
David Ernest. I've been hearing his name a lot lately.
I'll bet you have. And if you would like to talk to him, you can call him at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
You know, I heard that one time the elves used to take care of Santa's money.
Well, they did, but he had to come up with another plan.
Well, why won't he let the elves take care of his money?
They kept coming up short, man.
Well, this is your roving reporter. I'm going to go and jump out in front of a reindeer.
Watch it, man. They're endangered.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Marguerite's absolute clearance sale. We only got 3 days left. Hurry on up. 3 days left. Absolute clearance at Marguerite's, clearing all the cases. Old diamonds, everything. I can't even talk about it. It's unbelievable. Friday, Saturday, and it's Thursday. I can't finish.
You okay? Do you need any water? You good?
Okay, come out and see us. It's only till this Saturday. Absolute clearance at Marguerite's. Come on out, Pepper Tea Shop. Thank you.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Let's go right to the phones, and let's talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Man, we are doing great. How about you guys?
Doing really well.
I tell you, that was great yesterday when we were doing the ad and the customers in the store.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah, I knew that
that
customer.
was too funny. I'm like, what are the chances? Well, actually, it's pretty great considering how many people actually listen to the show, come and use us. But he's listening to you on the phone when I was talking to you guys. That was great.
Yeah,
well, I love it.
He texted me later on. It was pretty funny. It's somebody we know, friend of the show.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we still have one more day left of the sale, today and tomorrow. You got to call us, get us out there tomorrow morning first thing, get it measured, because we have to order it tomorrow.
Okay.
So we're to the point of, I'm not usually good at high-pressure sales, but in all honesty, it's gone tomorrow. So we got to get it done if you want to get it done.
All right.
You also lock in those prices before the new year, and that number's still 285-8117?
It is, 285-8117, and we'll come out and give you that free measurement.
Just that easy. And be sure when you call 285-8117 and you tell them you're Ray Bowles on with Joey and Eddie on the radio.
Guys, y'all have a great day.
You too, buddy. See you, Ray.
Well, that does it for us today, Eddie.
All right.
But did we learn anything?
Let's just go with no.
Yeah. think it all started to go off the rails after that eco-sexual segment.
Yeah, if we could just go with no and reset for tomorrow, that'd be great.
Yeah. Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Israeli officials are stepping up threats against the Lebanese terrorist group Hezbollah. They warn that Israel is running out of patience as the two sides continue to trade fire along Israel's volatile northern border. A federal judge accepting new Georgia congressional and legislative voting districts drawn by Republican lawmakers. U.S. District Judge Steve Jones rejected claims that the new maps didn't cure illegal vote dilution and should be rejected. Workers in several New England states working toward a bump up in minimum wage in 2024, while advocates in Massachusetts are pushing a ballot question aimed at phasing out the state's sub-minimum wage for tipped workers. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, an evangelical leader. I speak to millions